Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is story about what if Hokage Hiruzen assigned a teacher to young Naruto and surpassed all his expectations. Part 1. Before I start, please do support for more amazing content and comments for part 2. Do consider to subscribe my channel and share my video to your friends and check out the description as well. Let's start the video. The Hidden Leaf Village. One of the 5 great hidden villages and the strongest out of them. The Hidden Leaf has a Hokage as its head and there have been 4 Hokage in its history. The 4th Hokage tragically died on the night of the Kyuubi attack, which led to the 3rd Hokage coming back in power. Naruto. A 6-year-old boy who lives in the Hidden Leaf. He has had a rough life until now, and even he, himself doesn't know why. The villagers yelled at him at his sight, and some even chased him away. He has learned to avoid the villagers just so he avoids getting beat up by them. Everyone called him a demon, a fox, but he didn't know why and questions himself, why would they do that? Was he really a demon? Evil incarnate. One night he was kicked out of the only place he could call home. He lived in an orphanage, but even there he was still hated. His favorite place to go was in the library the orphanage has where he could have a quiet time. Reading books was his favorite thing to do. No one yelling at him. No one calling him a demon. Books were just awesome and in return, he learned a lot from them. But now that he was kicked out of the only thing he could call home, he didn't know what to do and where to go. He has avoided the villagers for a year now, but now that he has no home he didn't know what to do. The villagers had also gotten curious now. They hadn't seen the demon boy for over a year now and thought that someone had taken him down. Which they had no problem with. That demon killed the 4th Hokage, so he deserves to die anyway. Word reached the current Hokage of how he hasn't been seen from the villagers for a while now, but he knew that he avoided them and he still is in the orphanage. But he couldn't help but be concerned. He was entrusted with him and he still doesn't know if he did the right choice by sending him to that orphanage. Even he noticed the villagers' hate but didn't know what to do. Tenzo. Bring the Anbu following Naruto here and have them report to me immediately. Hiruzen ordered with getting a nod from him and disappearing. Naruto was in an alley trying to find a good spot to sleep for now. The Anbu following him just watch. It's sad, but they were ordered to only watch and only intervene if someone from outside the village tried to kidnap or harm him. As they watch him with sad looks on their faces they see Tenzo just arriving. With a nod, they all disappear and go to the Hokage's office. Hiruzen just looks at them waiting for their report. Naruto has unfortunately been kicked out of the orphanage. At the moment he's looking for a place to sleep, reported the Anbu with a sad voice. The 3rd Hokage was furious. Although his facial expressions didn't change, the aura he was releasing was insane. If anyone with a Chunin level or lower had been there, they would have just fallen unconscious. Those monkeys, said a furious Hiruzen, but then he calmed down. Show me where he is, he ordered. The 3rd Hokage arrived at the sight of Naruto lying on the ground and trying to sleep. Rough ground and surrounded by trash. It stank and it was pretty cold. Hiruzen, holding back his tears, goes to Naruto. What happened? Hiruzen asks. Naruto was surprised to see the 3rd Hokage but happy at the same time. He was the only person who didn't look at Naruto with hate. I was kicked out and I don't even know why, Naruto said with a frail voice, but then continues. Why would they do that? I never did anything to them. Hiruzen was really mad but immediately calmed down. Come Naruto. I'll bring you to a place where you can sleep. With that Hiruzen picks Naruto up and flickers away. They arrived at Hiruzen's house. You can stay here for tonight, said Hiruzen. Naruto was really tired, so he just fell down on the bed and fell asleep. Hiruzen then returns to the Hokage's office. He had to think of consequences for the people working at the orphanage. Who would just kick a 6-year-old? The best he came up with at the moment was firing them and having someone else take over the orphanage, and so he did. Now he had to find a place for Naruto to stay in. This is quite troublesome. Having Naruto stay alone in an apartment wouldn't be wise as he's too young. He could stay at my place but would be there alone as well. Hiruzen then cursed at them. He decided to talk to Naruto and then decide what he does with him. Naruto wakes up. Confused as to where he was, but then he remembered what happened. Hiruzen comes in seeing Naruto had just woken up. He brought him breakfast to eat. As Naruto finished eating, Hiruzen tried talking to Naruto. So he was interrupted by Naruto, who had a sad look on his face. Why does everyone hate me? Naruto asked, looking Hiruzen in the eyes. They call me a demon. A fox. Every time they see me they yell and some even chase me away. Hiruzen was sad and mad at hearing this. No 6-year-old should go through this. And those damned villagers. But now he was puzzled. What should he tell him? He can't just tell him that he has a demon fox sealed inside him. Listen Naruto, you shouldn't listen to what they say. You're a young boy who is kind. You want to become a shinobi, right? I'm sure you'll become a great one, if not the greatest. Naruto's eyes lit up. His dream was to become a shinobi just like the previous Hokage. He read about them and knew just how awesome they were. His favorite Hokage was the 4th one. He alone was feared by other nations and defeated 1,000 shinobi single-handedly. He even died protecting the village. Even though the villagers were being mean to Naruto, Naruto still loved the hidden leaf and the history behind it. How it was created and about the will of fire. "Would you train me then, Gigi?" Naruto asked with an excited face. Hiruzen surely wanted to, but he was really busy with Hokage duty. "I'm sorry Naruto, but you know since I'm a Hokage, I don't have that much time." Although, Naruto frowned at this, but he saw that his Gigi had an idea. "Although?" Naruto asked. "I could have someone else train you." "Someone awesome," Hiruzen said as he saw Naruto's eyes lit up again. "But now there is another small problem at hand. Naruto's home." "Naruto. Since you don't have a place to stay you could stay here or have your own apartment." Naruto then started thinking. Even if he stayed at his Gigi's place, he probably wouldn't see him that often since he's so busy. Plus it would be nice to get used to living on his own. So he decided. "I think it would be better to live on my own Gigi. I can get used to living on my own and not relying on other people," Naruto said. Hiruzen smiles. "Alright then. I already have your apartment ready. I'll take you there." Hiruzen picks Naruto up and go to his new apartment. "I have to learn that," Naruto thought to himself. The apartment was new and clean. It was already furnished. It had a kitchen, bedroom, living room, and a bathroom. All Naruto could have asked for. The kitchen already had food in its fridge and a book about learning for beginners, which made Naruto smile at that. The bedroom only had a bed and a nightstand by its side. The living room had a couch and a coffee table in it. It also had a bookshelf with books on it. "This is perfect." Gigi Naruto was smiling like a bastard holding tears back. This also made Hiruzen happy seeing him this happy. "Glad you like it. I'll bring you money by the end of every month, but be careful what you spend it on. Also, tomorrow at 7 AM at the training ground 7. That's when you'll meet your sensei." With that, he left Naruto. "Alright. I'm going to be the strongest ninja there is," Naruto declared. He had a day now to get used to this new apartment and prepare for tomorrow. He had never done any ninja training before, although avoiding the villagers was training in itself. Since Naruto had no idea how he's going to train tomorrow, he prepared mentally. At 6 in the morning. Naruto just woke up excited for the first day of training. His Gigi said that his sensei is going to be awesome, so that's even more reason to be excited. He got up and made breakfast. He had instant ramen he bought yesterday. He doesn't know how to make proper breakfast yet, so instant ramen is the best he could do. He ate and got out. "I better do quick exercises before I go." With that thought, he leaves and goes out. He is waiting at the training ground 7 and at exactly 7 AM someone arrives in a flash. At first sight, Naruto saw that he is an Anbu and that he is pretty strong. It was only something he unconsciously knew. "Good morning. I'm your sensei," the Anbu said. Naruto was analyzing him. He said good morning back and introduced himself. His mask was fox-like and had brown spiky hair and normal Anbu clothes. That's all Naruto could make of him. The Anbu's name is Tenzo, but Naruto calls him sensei. The training was mostly chakra control training. Tenzo didn't want him to do much physical training, so it doesn't stop his growth spurt. One thing Tenzo noticed by Naruto was that even though he had way too much chakra for a 6-year-old, he still had not bad chakra control. Almost every ninja who had a large amount of chakra their control wouldn't be as good as someone who has less chakra. But that didn't apply for Naruto. Tenzo first taught Naruto the 3 basic jutsu you learn in the academy. Those were clone technique, substitution jutsu, and transformation jutsu. It took Naruto a while to get the hang of those jutsus, but after a week he got the hang of it. Since Naruto knew the basic clone technique, Tenzo thought that it's a good idea to teach him the shadow clone jutsu. A better, solid version of the clone technique. And with the amount of chakra Naruto has, he had no doubt Naruto could pull it out. 4 years time skip, Naruto is now 10 years old. During that time he had improved a lot in training. He had also joined the academy. Naruto was more of a quiet guy, although sometimes a bit cheerful. He didn't see the point of the academy. He knew everything they were teaching him. The only thing he liked in the academy was the taijutsu training. Since he didn't do that much taijutsu training with his sensei. Even though the academy was boring, it still wasn't that bad. The teachers were actually fair towards him and didn't really show any hostile reaction towards him. His classmates weren't that bad either except Sasuke and his fangirls. He hated how he effortlessly had girls around him. He just sat in the class and ignored everyone. What's so good about him anyway? Thought Naruto. Although even he had some fangirls of his own, but he was oblivious enough not to notice them. Naruto has white hair and sky blue eyes. He wears a full black tracksuit with the Uzumaki symbol on his back. He was quiet in class too and didn't talk much, except when he was with Shikamaru and Choji. The teachers seemed to like him too since he was a good student with good grades and didn't really cause problems. Naruto never used his full power in the class though, since he wanted to surprise them at one point. He only used just enough to get an average grade. Training with an Anbu sure has its perks. His training had gone pretty well for the past years, and today was the day he was going to learn his chakra affinity. He was pretty excited. During the 4 years, he had also learned the body flicker jutsu, but he still wasn't that good at using it. He arrived at the usual training ground. Naruto always got there earlier so he could do exercises before he began. 30 minutes of exercises before his sensei arrives seemed to do good on him. Tenzo arrived and had a chakra induction paper on him. A special type of paper that is made only with a special type of tree. Naruto knew what it was the moment he saw it, and his eyes lit up with even more excitement. They greeted each other. Tenzo gave Naruto the special paper and explaining. "Alright, Naruto. This is a special type of paper as I'm sure you already know. You push your chakra into the paper and it will show you what your chakra affinity is. If it ignites and turns to ash then it's fire. If it gets cleanly cut in two then it's wind. If it wrinkles then it's lightning. If it turns to dirt and crumbles away then it's earth, and if it turns wet then it's water." Naruto nods as he already knows this. Naruto then grabs the paper and starts pouring his chakra into it. The paper is cleanly cut in two, one side crumbles away and the second side wrinkles. Tenzo is pretty shocked seeing as he's got 3 affinities. Only a few jounin have 3 affinities, which made Tenzo even more proud of his student. Tenzo smiles and then says, "Good job, Naruto. Since you found your chakra nature today, you'll get the rest of the day free since the next few years aren't going to be easy," and with that Tenzo disappears in a swirl of leaves. Naruto, also being proud, goes out to finally treat himself to ramen seeing as he hasn't eaten there for a while. "Yo Tucci. A miso chachu pork ramen for me please." The shop owner turns around as he sees Naruto. He remembers him from when he was younger. He used to come there quite often. "Hey, Naruto," Tucci said with a surprised voice, and then continues. "Haven't seen you for a while. How have you been?" "I've been training," Naruto said in a proud voice, rubbing his nose. "Ooh, oh, I see. Here's a ramen on the house," Tucci said, also proud of Naruto. "Thank you," Naruto replied back in a cheerful voice. Naruto is home. Reading a book while also being bored. Other than training he didn't really have that much to do except play with his friends. But they were training today so he was way too bored. Training was the only thing he could think of right now, so he trained. He had only done minimal physical training until now, so he thought he'd kick it up a notch and maybe increase his speed and power. He had a plan for his training. He had only gotten hints of it from Tenzo, but he also finally figured it out. The secret of shadow clones. With his amount of chakra he had no doubt he could use the jutsu to its full advantage. So now he could train on a few stuff at the same time. He put that idea on the back of his mind. He's definitely using any shortcuts he has to get stronger. Naruto just came home exhausted from his training. That was the first serious physical training he had done and it was pretty draining. But all that tiredness seemed to have washed away when he remembered that tomorrow he's finally going to learn battle jutsus. Until now he had mostly worked on his chakra control and the 4 basic jutsus. His chakra control was really good. Way better than one would think for someone with such high chakra levels. He had also learned the shadow clone jutsu, transformation jutsu, and the substitution jutsu and perfected them. But he was having trouble with the body flicker jutsu. Although D rank, it still was a bit more complicated than the previous jutsus. But he was hoping he would perfect it in the next 2 years. Naruto was resting as he made his clones prepare dinner. Even the clones were as lazy as the original, but they had to do what they had to do. They had prepared a nice hot and healthy meal for him to eat. As quickly as Naruto ate, he jumped on his bed and immediately slept. As always, he wakes up at 6 a.m. and does his morning routine. He brushes his teeth and washes his face. Puts on new and clean clothes and then eats breakfast. At 6:30 a.m. he left the house and went to the training ground. Always the same routine. First, it was boring, but after a while, he got used to it. At 7 a.m. sharp his sensei arrives ready to train the young boy. "Good morning, Naruto. Hope you're ready for today's training," said Tenzo. "Good morning, sensei." "Yes, of course I'm ready," replied a way too excited Naruto. As soon as Tenzo was about to start his training, Naruto interrupts. "Sensei. I have an idea I would like to use for my training." "Oh?" replied Tenzo, already guessing what it might be. "I'd like to use my shadow clones to train. I could have large groups of clones learning multiple jutsus while I train on Taijutsu. What do you think, sensei?" asked Naruto. Tenzo smiles. "Good that you figured it out. For the past few years, we barely focused on your Taijutsu training. Having 2 years just focused on it seems like a good idea," but then Tenzo stopped thinking. Well, yes, when dispelling a shadow clone returned its memories to the original, no one ever used it to train, so who knows how useful it will be. Tenzo then asks Naruto, "Have you already tried seeing how good it works?" "Yes, I have. I used them to learn a few things while I was training. For example, cooking. I'm still not the best at it, but I'm decent." Naruto pauses a bit and then continues. "But shadow clones have a bit of a harder time learning something new that I previously didn't. Tenzo was thinking if it's really a good idea to let the shadow clones train. But Naruto wouldn't suggest it if it wasn't, so he asks him. So? Why would you suggest it then? Well, they aren't as good at mastering a jutsu as I would be, they still help a lot at multitasking. So while the original, focus on Taijutsu for the next 2 years, the clones will probably master the jutsus in the next 2 years, as well, answered Naruto. Tenzo then smiles at this. Very good, Naruto. Tenzo then forms hand seals as another Tenzo comes out of him. It was the shadow clone, but not like the one Naruto has. It was a wood-style clone. Just at first sight, it seemed more durable than a normal one. Alright then, I will aid you in your Taijutsu training while my clone would help your clones in the ninjutsu training, said Tenzo. Naruto then nods and creates 60 clones. Evenly divide the 60 clones into 3 groups. Each group having 20 clones. Each group also dividing into 2 groups of 10. 6 groups of clones, each learning another jutsu. This was also a bit harder for Tenzo's clone, but he managed. He only showed the clones the basics and they would work alone after. Tenzo was planning on adding chakra weights on his body and then spar with him for a few hours. They started small. First adding 5 kilograms. His whole body was heavier and it was hard to move. But he got used to it. Tenzo ordered him to keep them on for the next 2 years. Adding weight every few days or a week. The first day of sparring wasn't all that bad. 5 kgs wasn't that bad since he got used to it. But the next it was worse. 2.5 kgs didn't really seem much, but adding the 2.5 kgs to the 5 kgs was pretty draining. Thankfully the exercises he did since a few years ago seemed to pay off. Naruto and Tenzo would spar for hours. Tenzo didn't even phase that much, while Naruto was exhausted. He still gave it his all and kept trying. After a few more hours his body started to ache. His muscles were sore and his limbs seemed heavier. He was panting. Look like we went overboard a little, Naruto. Take a break, said Tenzo. Naruto without saying a word goes near a tree, drinks a bit of water, and lays down to rest. The wind was calm, somewhat warm. The birds chirping, the tree leaves rustling. Everything seemed so calm that he had fallen asleep. An hour passes. Naruto was still sleeping but was woken up by Tenzo. He didn't want to ruin his sleep, but he could catch a cold if he stayed longer. He taps on Naruto's shoulder and says, Naruto. Naruto, wake up. Naruto slowly opens his eyes. Looks around as he comes to his senses. For how long was I asleep? He asked. For an hour, Tenzo replied. An hour? Do you know how much I could have training during that 1 hour? Naruto hurriedly stands up yelling. Naruto, calm down. You couldn't have trained anyways since your body is in th. Tenzo was shocked, seeing as he's in a really good shape. The Kyuubi. I knew he had good regeneration abilities, but this is quite something. Tenzo thought. What? Naruto asked. Nothing. Come on now, stop slacking off, let's get to training, said Tenzo laughing, seeing Naruto's irritated face. After a few minutes of sparring, so an hour of sleep really healed him from the soreness. The fatigue. This will probably help him improve his body faster. Tenzo thought. Every day Tenzo and Naruto sparred, Naruto's fighting style improved. He became more skilled overall. He could do logical thinking. Predict his opponent's movements and act upon that, and he was doing a really good job on that. His speed was also the most impressive. Such an impressive speed at such a young age. He will surely become a great ninja. At the end of the week, he increased the chakra weights on his body to 10. Every day increasing them little by little. At the end of the week he got to 10. Moving alone was pretty hard and he had to keep them on every time. After the first week, he kept the weights at the same level until the end of the week. That was when he'd either increase it by a half, 1.5, or 2 kilograms. His healing abilities made things a lot easier. Even after being completely exhausted, the next day would mostly be the same as the last day. Depending on how much strain he put on his body. Sometimes he would go overboard and wouldn't be able to train for a day. There also was a problem to which he found a simple solution. Shopping. Naruto going shopping was near impossible. The villagers yelling at him. If he even stared at an item in a store he would be pushed out of the store by the owner. The simple solution to this was the transformation jutsu. Transform to an ordinary civilian so when he went shopping he wouldn't catch any attention. He had already asked his Jiji if he was allowed to do that and he had allowed him to as long as he didn't do anything out of the ordinary and cause problems. During the years of training, he had found out about his sensing abilities. He had it since he was younger, but it was an unconscious ability so he never noticed. Looking back, the first time he met his sensei, he noticed that he was really strong. He still can't control it to activate it at will. He has tried to, many times but never succeeded. Naruto also decided to take a look at sealing jutsus. His favorite Hokage, the fourth Hokage, was a sealing master. So he decided to take a look into it. It was really complicated and noticed that it could be pretty versatile. But he thought that although it would be cool to master it, it didn't really fit his style. He was kinda upset but got over it later. Not all the fourth Hokage could do, he'll be able to do. Plus he's already decided to become even more awesome than all the previous Hokage. But before that, he had to become a full-fledged shinobi. Someone who carries his duties. Even Naruto knew that before he could become and succeed as a Hokage, he had to succeed as a shinobi. Naruto shakes his head and heads home. A few weeks passed since the real training started. At the end of the day, he dispelled the shadow clones and learned what they learned. The ninjutsu training was going pretty well. Better than he expected really. He also noticed something during his elemental training. Although his main three affinities were wind, earth, and lightning, wind was still superior to the other two. His wind chakra was stronger than the earth and lightning one, although not by a lot. If it goes on like this, I'll most definitely master these jutsus at the end of the second year. Naruto thought. He was pretty excited. He was getting better day by day. Even his day offs were pretty straining. He was told to lower the weights by half and he did so, but it was pretty tiring to move with weights. This is his life now though, so he had to get used to it. After weeks of training, he had an idea about the lightning release. He wasn't really sure it could work, but even Tenzo said that there is a slight chance it might. So now he makes 40 clones for wind and earth and 30 for lightning alone, and one jutsu also. The jutsu he was working on was a branch technique of an already existing one. It works very similarly the same as the ones he read about, but since it was a branch technique, it was weaker. Weaker but still really useful is what Naruto thought. A few months pass. Naruto's taijutsu and body shape is way better than it was when he began. The progress he made was really good and he was really happy and proud of it. Wind release was what he made the most progress on. It was easier to learn and master than the other two affinities. Earth wasn't that bad either. Lightning was what he had the most trouble on. Whenever he hit a dead end he couldn't ask anyone for a piece of advice, since anyone he and his sensei knows that is in the village, Kantor doesn't know the jutsu. All the previous two he could since his sensei was a great earth user himself and he was close with someone who used wind release as well, so he could point his mistakes here and there. He was also really happy that he decided to focus more on the lightning jutsu since it was the hardest to master. His taijutsu had also progressed really far. He could now better predict his opponent's movements and could react to them faster due to how his body had progressed. It's been 2 months since he started training. He only had one day a week off, but today happened something he didn't really expect. Naruto and Tenzo finished sparring. Alright, Naruto. Good job on reacting to my attacks this well again, said Tenzo smiling. He was also proud of the progress Naruto was making. Thank you sensei. We'll continue again after a small break. Asked Naruto panting. An unexpected answer came out of Tenzo's mouth. No Naruto. You should take a longer break this time. I was thinking of a 1-week break. As soon as Naruto heard those words, a shocked expression appeared on his face. Sure, he took 1-day breaks every 1 or 2 weeks. But a whole week. But why? Naruto asked. When is the last time you met your friends outside of school? Tenzo replied with another question. Naruto then realized. He hadn't met his friends in a long time. He did talk with them while in school, but they rarely went out since he started training. Naruto didn't answer. You're too focused on training. Yes, it's important, but don't forget your friends. We'll meet again in 5 days and continue training. Have fun Naruto Tenzo said, and with that he disappears. Aw, man. Well, I do see his point. Haven't played with them for a while too. Naruto says so he goes to meet up with his friends. First, he went to Kiba and see if he was busy. But he was also training so he, unfortunately, couldn't come. Kiba is an obnoxious guy but a good friend. He's one of the people who didn't hate him. Naruto also admired him for how hard he trains to become stronger. Naruto was thinking of also meeting up with Shino. Shino was also a quiet guy and they barely talked to one another. He's a pretty cool guy, but Naruto couldn't really figure out what he was thinking as he does with others. Sometimes he got the feeling like Shino doesn't really like Naruto or that he bothers him, but he really didn't know. Naruto couldn't find him anyways. Well, that's what I get for trying to meet in such a short time Naruto thought. Naruto was walking towards Choji's house. Choji was a wholesome guy. He would sometimes offer Naruto chips which he appreciated. While walking he saw Choji and his father going to a barbecue. Naruto knew what was going to happen in the restaurant, so he best not bother them in their lunchtime. That leaves Shikamaru. Naruto thought. Choji and Shikamaru are his first friends. Through them, he also met other awesome people. Although not a large friend group, he still appreciated them and was happy that they also didn't judge him. Shikamaru was different. He was a lazy person who said troublesome quite often. He was a nice guy nonetheless. As Naruto neared his house, he saw him and his father playing shogi. He got kinda upset. Everyone was busy. But he couldn't blame them since he wanted to meet them in such a short time. As he turned around to go home, Shikamaru had noticed him. Hey, Naruto, Shikamaru said in a somewhat loud voice calling him. Naruto turned around again seeing that he was noticed. He walks towards them and says, "Yo, Shikamaru. I have some time off so I thought we could hang out," Naruto said with a somewhat low voice. "Well, I'm playing shogi right now. Want to join in?" Shikamaru asked. "I don't know, I never played it before," Naruto replied back. As they were having a conversion, Shikaku was observing. He did meet Naruto a few times before. He knew he was training with an Anbu, so he had to be strong too. His black tracksuit with blue eyes and white hair gave different vibes each time. Sometimes he was giving off like a slacking off and uninterested vibe, but then also a strong and confident vibe. It was quite strange. He saw that the relationship between his son and Naruto seemed well, so he stands up and heads towards the door to go inside. "Well, you guys have fun," he said and leaves. "So, you never played shogi before, right? Want me to teach you?" Asked Shikamaru, though he didn't really want to teach someone since he was lazy. "I don't know, seems like a confusing game. How about we go out for a walk and maybe play something?" "It's been a while," Naruto replied back. Shikamaru smiled, as although going out was troublesome, teaching him a new game from scratch was even more so he thanks Naruto in his mind for not agreeing on learning the game. "Fine, let's go," he replied. "In about 2 years we are finally going to be real shinobi. I'm really excited," said Naruto. "Yay. You have been training a lot, huh?" replied Shikamaru. "Of course. I'm going to be the strongest shinobi," Naruto said with a giggle. "Troublesome. Seriously, where do you get all that motivation from?" Shikamaru asked in a sarcastic voice. You should try harder, to be honest. I'm sure you could get even stronger," Naruto replied back. "I'm trying hard enough," Shikamaru said. As they were walking towards the park and see a lonely Uchiha sitting by himself. Naruto tried to talk to him a few times before, but he would ignore him. Naruto also felt bad about what happened to him. He felt somewhat of a connection between them, but he would also get pissed off by him because of his attitude. Naruto and Sasuke made eye contact, but then Sasuke just turned his head saying piss off. Naruto got really annoyed by that, and he himself didn't know why. Normally he wouldn't get easily annoyed. So he just ignores Sasuke and walks with Shikamaru to the park. Shikamaru just looks either down or up, avoiding any eye contact with anyone. "What do you think of him, Shikamaru?" Naruto asked. "I don't know, it's sad what happened to him, so I guess his attitude is excused. I would probably ignore him though," Shikamaru replied back. "Yeah, you probably would," Naruto said with a laugh. Naruto knew really well how it is being alone. He wanted to help Sasuke, but he just ignored Naruto. In the academy, Naruto was usually quiet. Didn't talk when unnecessary. He usually sat next to Shikamaru, Choji, Kiba, or sometimes even Shino. He would however try to sit next to Sasuke and get him to talk. But sometimes that would also be impossible due to the annoying fangirls. Sasuke was at the top of the class, while Naruto only tried hard enough to get average grades, since he really didn't want the attention Sasuke was getting. Shikamaru however noticed a few fangirls of Naruto, but he always wondered how Naruto could be so oblivious to never notice them. A few hours pass and it was getting kinda late. Shikamaru had to run off home or else his mother would scold him. So Naruto had to walk home alone. He saw the Uchiha again staring at a river. Naruto wondered what he was thinking since he barely talked. He walked up to him and greeted him. Getting no reply. "What are you doing here?" Naruto asked again, getting no response. He was starting to get kinda mad. "I asked you something," Naruto said, but this time he actually said something back. "What do you want?" Sasuke asked. "Nothing. Just wanted to see how you're doing. You know, talking is always better than staying silent," Naruto answered in a lower voice. Sasuke looked at him and then looked down. "Don't want to talk. Just go away," Sasuke said in a higher voice, trying to intimidate Naruto. "Why not? I know how it feels to be alone and talking with friends always made it better," Naruto said. "You don't know anything," Sasuke replied back. "Huh? I don't know anything. Seriously, get a grip. Staying alone will bring you nothing. I mean it. But yeah, I guess don't know anything." Naruto shakes his head and starts walking off. "Seriously, why did I even try? I'll just go home and eat dinner for now," Naruto thought. Sasuke was thinking about what Naruto said but quickly shook it off. "No one understands how I feel. I will get stronger alone and get revenge." Revenge. All Sasuke could think of. Killing his brother, the one who killed his own clan. Naruto then arrives home and prepares dinner. He made 2 shadow clones prepare dinner for him while he went to his room and laid down. He didn't want to let Sasuke suffer alone. But he couldn't bring him to talk to him. So he didn't know what to do now. When Naruto was alone, all he wanted was someone to talk to with. So maybe he really doesn't know anything. It's been 6 years since he started training with his sensei. He learned a lot from him. How to be a shinobi and everything he needed to know. And today was his last that he's going to train with his sensei. Finally, tomorrow he's graduating and he's going to become a real shinobi. The academy was pretty easy for Naruto. The stuff they taught there, he already knew. They only taught him the low-level jutsus that he also already knew. Taijutsu was also pretty easy after a few months of training only on Taijutsu. Even though boring, he still loved the academy. He had friends there and the teachers were nice too. 2 years of only Taijutsu training had done him good. He did use shadow clones to master the 3 elemental jutsus. He mastered 2 of the earth release jutsus and 2 of wind release ones. Lightning release was a bit tricky. He did train long enough to make it useful in battle, but he still didn't master it completely. It was a copy of the original jutsu after all. Tenzo and Naruto were getting ready for their final spar. "Naruto, take off your chakra weights. You need to get used to your body without them," Tenzo said. Naruto was surprised by this. He was told to never take them off. Even if he wasn't training. He even forgot how his body felt without the weights. But he realized why he told him to take them off, so he did just that. Naruto then, as soon as he takes off his weights, immediately notices the difference. He felt so much lighter. He jumped higher. He was faster. He felt as though he was the fastest. He got a bit too cocky, forgetting how strong his sensei is. "Very well. Start," Tenzo declares. Naruto immediately rushed at him. Taking his weights off seemed to have made him cockier. But then he saw the difference between himself and his sensei. He threw punches left and right, but none seemed to hit him. His sensei dodged every one of his punches seemingly easily. The moment Naruto noticed that, he jumped back. "Heh, I guess it won't be that easy." Naruto then starts thinking about what to do while he dodges Tenzo. He was trying to come up with a strategy but couldn't focus too much because of Tenzo rushing him. Thinking won't do much then, huh? Naruto thought as he then fully focused on the fight. He realized he couldn't strategize unconsciously, and trying to come up with a strategy to fight his sensei right now would only slow him down. Naruto throws in kicks, punches, everything he had available, but they all either got dodged or blocked. He realized just how much he had to train to overcome this level. He knew how weak he is and how much more he has to train to get stronger. To become the strongest. Naruto then rushes at Tenzo even harder, trying to land in a punch. A kick. Anything. But everything seemed futile. This frustrated Naruto more than he thought. He got even more aggressive. His style was still really good for an academy student. It barely had any openings Tenzo could exploit even after he got so aggressive. It seemed immature of Naruto to get so frustrated, and that doing so in battle could prove fatal, but this was different. Even though more aggressive, it still didn't leave any openings. It seemed reckless and dumb to an opponent, which confused them. Tenzo thought he saw an opening. "You've got ways to go, Naruto." Leaving an opening like that. As soon as Tenzo was about to exploit that opening, he realized. He got tricked by an academy student. Naruto quickly dodged Tenzo and was about to land a kick. Tenzo smiled. Proud of his student. To think Naruto, an academy student, would trick him. He just laughed a little and then quickly grabbed his leg and pushed him to the ground. Naruto then stood up exhausted. As soon as he stood up, he fell again. The spar had gone on for a few hours and it drained him. Tenzo then laughed a bit more loudly. "Good job, Naruto. Yet again you impress me." "Really?" Naruto asked excitedly. "Yes. Well done. For that, I will treat you to ramen," Tenzo replied. "Let's go," Naruto shouted. For the past few years, Tenzo hadn't gone on any missions as an Anbu and hadn't done any Anbu work. He was only focused on training Naruto as ordered by the third Hokage. Since Naruto is finally going to become a genin, he thought that he won't need his sensei anymore. He'll be busy on missions and also have another sensei. He was worried about Naruto. He was also sad that he won't get to see Naruto as often. They grew closer and have a really good teacher-student relationship. But he knew that he has nothing to worry about. With Naruto finally becoming a genin, he plans on continuing his Anbu work. After finishing their meal, they went on top of the Hokage rock. Naruto knew that this is the last time he's seeing his sensei in a long time. He knows his sensei will continue his Anbu work, so he will be really busy. It upset him, but there wasn't really anything he could do at the moment. "So I guess this is a goodbye," Naruto said in a low voice. "For now, Naruto. I trust you to become an awesome shinobi. I know you can do it. And don't worry, whenever I have time, I will come and meet you," Tenzo replied. Tenzo then smiled and then said in a sarcastic voice. "Alright then, Naruto, better get ready for tomorrow. It is a big day, after all, you better not fail." Tenzo knew without a doubt he would pass the academy test. Naruto then chuckled. "Hi. I will become strong too. Stronger than you," Naruto declared. Tenzo then laughed. "Yes, I know you will." They then nodded at each other and both leave. Naruto heads home. It had gotten dark, so he wanted to get a good night's sleep for tomorrow. Tomorrow he's finally going to become a real ninja. Naruto woke up earlier this time. He quickly ate breakfast and went out. He went out for a run. He ran at full speed around the village to see how fast he could go. Since he's finally not using the weights, he wanted to test how much faster he got. And it was by a lot. But he still had ways to go. He knew that because of the spar with his sensei. He knew he still had to train a lot more and way harder than he did before if he wanted to become the strongest. After taking a small break he went to the academy. It was earlier than usual so not everyone was in class. Since his friends weren't there either he sat alone. As per usual, the fangirls were fangirling over Sasuke. He still thought about what Sasuke said. About him not understanding anything. Naruto thought he understood how Sasuke felt, but that wasn't the case. A few minutes passed and his friends all came. Naruto sat next to Shikamaru and Choji. Kiba and Shino also sat together behind them. It was pretty loud until Iruka came in. The students were nervous about the exams. Some were also not worried about it, confident that they would easily pass. As soon as Iruka came in the class was silent. Iruka greeted the students and they greeted him back. Iruka haves them prepare for the first exam. The written exam. Mizuki, Iruka's assistant handed out the papers. Naruto had always gone for the average score. But since it was the last day, he wanted to get the perfect score. Yesterday Iruka reviewed the transformation jutsu in which Naruto also got a perfect score. He answered all the questions asked on the paper. After the time was up Mizuki picked the papers up. Some were upset, some were not. The test was hard for a few but easy for others. For your final exam, you must each generate a clone, Iruka said, and then continues after a moment of silence. Wait here until your name is called and then come next door. After a few got their name called, it was finally Naruto's turn. His friends wished him luck to which Naruto thanked them. He goes next door. Iruka and Mizuki were sitting in front of a table full of leaf headbands. Naruto was excited. Iruka told Naruto to show his shadow clone. But what happened after wasn't what he expected. Since Naruto was an overall average student he expected one shadow clone, but what actually happened was surprising. First Naruto didn't even use hand signs, and second, there were multiple and solid clones. Iruka immediately passed him. As the exams were over, Iruka congratulated everyone. Everyone in his class had passed. After the students congratulated each other and celebrated, they all went home. Naruto was about to walk home, but he thought he'd stay outside for a bit. Home alone was boring after all. He lied down on the Hokage's rock looking at the dark sky. The sky was clear, with no clouds. You could clearly see the beautiful stars. Naruto loved to just stay and look at the sky. But for a moment he was interrupted. He saw someone jump right above his head going into the forest. He didn't see who it was, but he did notice he was in quite a hurry. Naruto decided to follow him and see what's up. It didn't take a lot for Naruto to catch up to him, but when he did he saw someone familiar. Mizuki. Mizuki was actually quite nice to Naruto, so he thought that Mizuki was actually a kind person. Mizuki, what's going on? Naruto asked. Naruto also noticed the scroll on his hand and thought of a theory about what's actually happening. The theory was that Mizuki stole the scroll and is now on the run. But he still didn't want to believe that as he genuinely believed Mizuki was a kind person. Mizuki decided to stop. Ah, so it's you Naruto. The devil himself Mizuki said. Naruto hated that word. He always wondered why he was always called a devil. But hearing those words towards him, Naruto knew he wasn't a kind person, at least no one who uses those words towards a child is. What are you doing Mizuki? Naruto asked again. Mizuki then started laughing. Don't you see, Naruto? I'm stealing this scroll and in exchange, I will be granted power. Naruto then knew for sure what that scroll is and realized what's happening. Aren't you a leaf ninja? No, if you're willing to betray your village then you aren't a ninja. You're just a failure. Naruto said preparing to fight Mizuki. Oh? The devil is getting ready to fight. Mizuki then started laughing, but then continues. Naruto, do you know why everyone calls you a devil? Why everyone hates you? Mizuki asks. Naruto then stopped for a moment but then told him to continue. Because you Naruto, you're the devil fox who attacked the village 12 years ago. Mizuki then started laughing again. Naruto was shocked. He always wondered why everyone called him a devil. He even came up with theories as to why. He did come up with the theory that the fox was inside him, but he didn't want to believe it. This theory seemed the most believable, but he just didn't want to accept it's true. After a few moments of Mizuki laughing and Naruto getting his head straight, Mizuki decided to attack Naruto. Naruto's thoughts were all over the place, but then he tossed them all aside. He was already kinda prepared for it although he didn't want to believe it. Although he didn't have any proof, the idea was still there. Mizuki was rushing Naruto, but Naruto easily dodged him. That speed was nothing compared to his sensei's. Both of them on the ground staring at each other until suddenly another Naruto came out of the ground about to catch Mizuki. Mizuki was really shocked at this, but his instincts allowed him to move away. He really didn't expect Naruto to know any jutsus, he was the most average after all. Heh, I guess it won't be that easy Naruto said. You devil. Why don't you care? You're the demon fox, the one who killed countless people Mizuki yelled. Naruto said nothing. He was thinking nothing other than bringing the scroll back and defeating Mizuki. He didn't let it bother him what Mizuki was saying. Mizuki got pissed at this and carelessly started attacking Naruto. Naruto dodged and countered his punches. Mizuki managed to get a few punches in and started rushing more aggressively. Naruto then used it to his advantage and disappeared in a poof of smoke. Mizuki got even more furious and turned around to see Naruto preparing a jutsu. With one hand sign, Naruto takes a deep breath, compresses that breath, and releases it in a large crushing sphere of wind chakra. Mizuki barely dodged it, but it got his leg. He managed to hide, but when Naruto was about to pursue him, but he stopped when he was attacked from below. It looked like a combination of an earth jutsu and soft physique modification. But then suddenly Naruto was put into a jinjutsu. Naruto fell under his trap. As soon as he released the jinjutsu, he was being attacked by a puppet holding a sword. He was already about to get hit and he couldn't dodge it. Shit, I have to use this then. Although not perfect, it will help me get out of this. Naruto thought. No hand signs necessary. In one moment Naruto was surrounded by dark red lightning, to which enhanced his speed and reflexes greatly. He got the idea of this jutsu when he read the encounter of the fourth Hokage in the Reikage. He read that he used something like this, so Naruto created something similar. It was far off from the original, but he knew he could train to improve on it. As soon as he activated the lightning jutsu, he dodged the puppet and was about to find Mizuki. He could finally use sensing abilities, although they were only for a few meters. Naruto found Mizuki again and was about to attack him again. Mizuki was furious. Naruto countered everything Mizuki had. All his plans were ruined because of Naruto. He was so infuriated that he blindly attacked Naruto. Naruto then encased his arm in rock and, taking advantage of Mizuki's recklessness, Naruto did a direct hit which put Mizuki down. This took longer than it should have, Naruto said tiredly. Naruto then notices the scroll near the unconscious Mizuki. Let's see why Mizuki risked his life for, Naruto thought, and opens the scroll. The first jutsu in that scroll was the one he already knew. Boring, Naruto said. After looking at a few more jutsus, he noticed something. The one jutsu that his idol is famous for. His eyes lit up, but he then senses someone coming. He quickly copies what is said on the scroll about that jutsu and drops it. The one who arrived was Iruka. Naruto. What are you doing here? Iruka asked in a confused face. I saw Mizuki running with the scroll, so I followed him and defeated him, Naruto said in a cheery voice. His clothes were in a worse shape than he was though. Iruka then takes a second to let that information sink in and then asks. You defeated Mizuki? Wait, you didn't look in the scroll, did you? It was hard, but yay, I did. Naruto then laughs, ignoring the second question Iruka asked. Credit was given to Naruto for returning the scroll safely. After Iruka and Naruto gave their report to the third Hokage, he thanked them and told them they can leave. Iruka was about to leave, but noticed Naruto staying. Naruto, come, I'll treat you to some ramen too, Iruka said. Go on without me. I want to talk with Gigi a bit, Naruto said with a low voice. Iruka noticed that there was something different about Naruto, so he decided to leave them. Hiruzen already knew what he wanted to talk about. He saw everything on the crystal ball. But he didn't know what to tell him. He can't lie to him anymore. Gigi, am I really a devil? Is the nine-tailed fox actually sealed inside me? Naruto asked in a saddened voice. No, of course not. You're just the same Naruto. Yes, you have a fox sealed inside you, but you're still the same Naruto. A normal human, which I love, Hiruzen replied back. Naruto was in deep thoughts. He was really happy to hear those words, but was still upset. Gigi, why was it sealed inside me? Naruto asked again. He knew why already but just wanted to hear his Gigi say it. It was to save the village, Naruto. It was sealed by the fourth Hokage. If he didn't seal it inside you, then it would have gone in a rampage, killing hundreds of people. Hiruzen replied back again. He noticed that made Naruto feel better. If it was for the village, Naruto felt as he could do anything. Even if it meant containing a demon fox. Gigi, are there books about the nine-tailed fox or books related to it? Naruto then asks again. He wanted to research everything about the beast inside of him. Hiruzen then stands up and goes to a shelf of books and scrolls. Of course there are. You can take them, but be sure to return them, Hiruzen said, pointing at the books. Naruto then smiled. By the way, Gigi, I took a look into the Forbidden Scroll, Naruto said in embarrassment, rubbing the back of his head. The Forbidden Scroll was a scroll that had jutsus that were forbidden to use. The first Hokage himself was the one who wrote the forbidden jutsu in the scroll. They were forbidden due to how much chakra the jutsus cost, and if anyone with not enough chakra tried to use those jutsus dies. But Naruto is someone who has an abnormal amount of chakra due to his genes. Oh? Well, did you find anything interesting? Asked a curious Hiruzen. Naruto then smiles a little at that question and says, well, I did find this one. Showing the paper on which he wrote the jutsu in. Hiruzen was shocked, but then again thought it was to be expected. Naruto, just be careful. It is a forbidden jutsu for a reason. Hiruzen said. He didn't have any doubts that he wouldn't learn it though. He was his son after all. Naruto then smiles again. "Hi, Gigi," Naruto says while taking the books and scrolls about the nine-tailed fox and stuff related to him. "Thank you again," Naruto said while leaving. "No problem. I trust you after all," Hiruzen said in a somewhat lower voice. He then sat on his chair again and continued his paperwork. Naruto had just gotten up fully refreshed from the exhaustion. It was midday so Naruto slept longer than he wanted to. Yesterday had been a tiresome night and he had found out a terrible secret about himself, well, about the demon that sealed inside of him. He was really upset, but he did get over it after talking to his Gigi. Since it was for his village he really didn't care about a demon. He felt like he could do anything about his village, even if it meant containing a demon. As he stood up yawning he noticed the books and scroll he got yesterday. "Alright, since I don't have anything to do today besides preparing the ninja registration form, I'll learn everything there is to know about you. And then there is you," Naruto thought looking at another scroll kinda excited. He quickly ate lunch and made a few shadow clones. First, he sent one clone to prepare the ninja registration form and made the other clones learn the basics of the working of the jutsu he had written down yesterday and he, the original, would read about the demon inside him. He made 25 clones learn about the jutsu. Since the shadow clones had a harder time learning new stuff. Yesterday he was in such a hurry copying the scroll that he really had no idea what he wrote. He wrote it unconsciously due to not wanting to be seen by Iruka and it was faster this way. The jutsu was called the Hiruzen. There were a few stuff written about it. First, he noticed that jutsu was edited and improved by the fourth Hokage. The jutsu was created by the second Hokage but improved by the fourth Hokage. Naruto noticed the use of the special kunai. The special kunai differ from a standard shinobi kunai in that they have 3 blades instead of 1 and the handle serves as the marker for the fourth Hokage's teleportation ability. To use the Hiruzen jutsu one had to mark a target with a technique formula. The formula is applied with a single touch which can't be removed even after the target dies. By entering a dimensional void, the user can instantly teleport to a technique formula's location whenever they please, regardless of distance. Anything that the user is holding, contacting, or that is linked with their chakra will teleport with them. It is said that anyone marked with a technique formula is essentially sentenced to death. Naruto thought that with the use of his lightning jutsu, he could use the Hiruzen even better and faster. He was still upset as lightning jutsus didn't increase his physical parameters as much as he wanted to. The Raikage's lightning mode did so on a much greater scale. But he was still proud he was able to replicate it even though at a much lower level than the originals. The Hiruzen jutsu could be used without hand signs if Naruto trained long enough to master it. Naruto sent one more clone to order a few special kunai. He got them right away since the fourth Hokage used to order them there. After getting back home with the special kunai Naruto poofed. When the original got the memories of the clone he made another 25 clones to get used to using these special kunai. They weighed more than the normal ones and getting used to fighting with them did no harm. It was getting late and Naruto had finally finished reading all about the demon inside of him. It was quite a lot he had learned about him and his kind. He read that there were 8 other demons, or beasts as it was written, like the one inside him. There were 9-tailed beasts in total and all had unique appearances and different numbers of tails. The one inside him had 9 tails and was also the most terrifying but also the one with the most chakra of them all. He also read that there were other people like him who had a tailed beast sealed inside of them. They were called a Jinchuriki. The tailed beasts were seen as monsters, demons, mindless beasts and were really hated. That hatred went on to their Jinchuriki which he finally understood why he was hated and called a demon by everyone in the village. The first Hokage had gathered all the tailed beasts and suppressed them with his wood style. He had also given them away to other villages to avoid war. As Naruto read this he was amazed. He really gave such powerful being away like pets, thought Naruto. The first Hokage had although kept the 9 tails and sealed him inside of his wife. Naruto then noticed something. The last name of the first Hokage's wife. Uzumaki. He also read that the first Hokage's wife whose name was Mito was the first 9 tails Jinchuriki. After Mito, the second 9 tails Jinchuriki was Kushina Uzumaki. And after Kushina, it was Naruto. Naruto noticed that so far only the Uzumaki were his Jinchuriki. Naruto knew that the Uzumaki was a famous clan but was later killed. He never knew why they were killed and why he was the only survivor so far he knew. He barely knew anything about the Uzumaki. Naruto then read about the different kinds of tailed beasts, their special abilities, and where they are located. He failed to understand why the 9-tailed attacked the village. Was it really necessary to kill countless people and destroy countless buildings just to avoid being sealed inside a human? Was it really that bad? If that's the case then I'll do my best for him to be comfortable as much as possible. But would it really help? Was being sealed really the reason he killed? The reason he's evil? Is he really evil? Naruto began to question everything. He was puzzled by this situation. He didn't want to think someone is evil just because someone said he is. He at least wanted to talk to this demon before he came to the conclusion that he's just pure evil. He read about how the Jinchuriki can talk to the tailed beast. He wanted to try that as well. He made all the other shadow clones poof. He felt all their memories come back to him. Naruto shook his head and sat down. He closed his eyes. He sat down for a few minutes but nothing happened. When Naruto started concentrating even harder he felt something different. He opened his eyes and saw himself in a corridor. It looked like he was in a sewer. As he was looking around he heard a growl. Naruto immediately knew who and where he was. He walked straight and turned left. After a moment of walking, he finally arrived. Before him, he saw a big cage. "Come closer," said the Nine Tails growling. As Naruto went one step closer, the Nine Tails tried to stab him with his nails. "I want to eat you, but this damn seal won't let me," he said, growling even harder. Naruto understood that he was trying to scare him and it was working. It certainly was creepy. "So, you're the Nine Tails, huh?" Naruto said. "You came here yourself. You know where you are and you certainly know who I am, kid," responded the Nine Tails. Naruto then laughed a bit. "You really are scary, Nine Tails." Naruto noticed he flinched a little hearing that. It feels weird calling you that and it doesn't seem you like it either. So what do you prefer I call you?" Naruto asked. The Nine Tails was shocked at hearing this. He has hated humans for only seeing him as a power source. A demon. Evil incarnate. No one had ever asked him for his name. "What do you care, kid?" he then asked. "Well, you're inside me and you do already know my name, so it makes sense for me to know yours," Naruto replied. The Nine Tails started laughing. "You're the first human to ever ask me that." "Fine, since you asked, it's Kurama," he said. His hate for humans was still the same, but he still had a little amount of respect for the human child. Kurama knew what Naruto thinks, what his intentions are, and what he feels. In his point of view, Naruto wasn't that bad, but he was still a human. The child of the one who sealed him nonetheless. "Kurama, huh? I like it. So, Kurama. I'd like to ask you something if I'm allowed," Naruto said. Kurama was again surprised by this child. He wasn't as bad as the previous Jinchuriki he had, plus he gave off a familiar feeling. "Sure, kid. It's not like I have anything else to do," he replied. "Thank you. Straight to the case then, why did you attack the Hidden Leaf Village 12 years ago?" Naruto asked. He wanted to know what his intentions were at the time. Kurama sighed. He first didn't want to admit that he was controlled, but he didn't want to lie either. "A damn Uchiha controlled me with their damn visual prowess. No matter what everyone else may think, I don't like pointless destruction." Naruto was glad but he didn't show it. He was in deep thought on who it was that controlled him. But who did it? The only Uchiha who was capable of controlling you was the legendary Uchiha. But he is dead after all. Naruto said and then continues. "Is the one who controlled you still alive? All the Uchiha were killed except two after all." "I don't know, but I don't think he was a leaf ninja. So, he's probably still alive," Kurama replied. He hasn't had a real conversation in a long time so this did him good. He might be a threat. Someone powerful enough to control someone like you and use you to cause such destruction. I wonder who that could be," Naruto said talking to himself. "Anyways, thank you. It was nice talking to you. You got anything you want to say?" Naruto asked. Kurama lied down and started sleeping giving no answer. Naruto smiled and went out. As he came out he realized how late it had become and the mess he made with all the books and scrolls. He made a few shadow clones and went into his room tired. He rubbed his stomach and smiled. A moment later the shadow clones were done cleaning up and so he started sleeping. Naruto wakes up stretching and yawning. He eats breakfast and heads out. He did some exercises first and then trained with his new kunais. After a few hours of training, Naruto heads back home to take a shower and get ready to hand in the ninja registration form. He gave it to the third Hokage and sat on a chair in front of him. Naruto then sensed someone coming. He looked at the door and saw it was opening slowly. Naruto then saw a young boy charging at the third Hokage with a shuriken in his hand and yelling "Fight me. Old geezer." Naruto was about to stop him but then saw him fall down. He laughed a little at that dumb assassination attempt. He knew or rather guessed who he was. The young boy however noticed that laugh and grabbed his shirt. "I know you are the one who set a trap," he yelled. You fell on your own feet you fool," Naruto said grabbing the young boy's hand and removing it. The young boy was still trying to grab his shirt but Naruto didn't let him as he grabbed his hand a little harder. "Let his hand go. He's the grandson of the third Hokage," said a quite tall man who seemed to be a join. Naruto noticed the smirk the young boy was giving. This annoyed him a little. Naruto then grabbed his shirt. "Like I give a damn. You better not touch me again," Naruto said and pushed him on the floor. The young boy looked up shocked. Anyone else treated him with kindness the minute they found out he's the third Hokage's grandson, but Naruto didn't. After that Naruto headed out. He was finished with his work so he wanted to go home for now. He did however notice someone following him. "What do you want?" Naruto asked, getting no response. "You aren't fooling anyone with that, you know." Impressive. "You saw through my disguise. I heard about you. I'll make you my boss. Please train me," said the young boy. "Huh? Why would I make you my student?" Naruto asked. "Come on, please boss. Please." The young boy continues begging. Why do you want to train in the first place?" Naruto asked. "Because I want to become a Hokage. Then finally people will see me for who I am and not some grandson of a Hokage." Naruto looked at him with a confused face. "What do you mean? Grandpa named me after the village. My name is Konohamaru. Even though everyone knows my name, no one calls me that. All they see is the Hokage's grandson," Konohamaru said, looking down. "I'm sick of that, so that's why I want the Hokage's title. Idiot. If you want to be acknowledged, then become a strong and respectable shinobi first. There is no way you're becoming a Hokage. Not before you beat me," Naruto said. Look at Konohamaru's face. His eyes widened. "I finally found you, young lord." The shinobi from before said, look at Naruto with disgusted eyes. "That demon brat," he thought. "Those eyes again," Naruto thought, annoyed. The shinobi was grabbing Konohamaru. "Young master, let's go home. I'm your easiest shortcut to becoming Hokage," the shinobi said while struggling to pull Konohamaru. "Let me go," Konohamaru yelled back. "Please, young master. If you hang out with trash like him, you'll become stupid," the shinobi said, still struggling. "What did you just call me?" Naruto asked, pissed off at that man's comment. "This has nothing to do with you, I mean young man." As soon as the shinobi finished that sentence, he was kicked in the face and fell down a couple of meters away. As he stood up as if nothing had happened, they were gone. "Damn it. Didn't know he was this experienced, but I guess it's expected when you train with an Anbu." Naruto had picked up Konohamaru and ran away. Konohamaru was looking at Naruto shocked and his eyes wide opened. He didn't even see Naruto use the shadow clone that appeared behind his tutor. Plus that speed and that awesome lighting surrounding him. So awesome was everything Konohamaru could think of. "I'm sorry, Konohamaru. I acted in the heat of the moment," Naruto said as he let Konohamaru down and rubbed his head, laughing a little. "Don't worry, Nai-chan. He shouldn't have called you that anyway," Konohamaru said. Naruto looked at him, surprised by how he called him. He was also really happy. "But wow, I got ways to go if I want to surpass you and beat you," Konohamaru said. You sure do. You better train hard, harder than you ever had," Naruto said. Yay, stop lecturing me because from now on you're my rival," Konohamaru declares. Naruto smiles. "Sorry, but starting tomorrow I'm taking my first step as being a shinobi, but one day I'll fight you for the Hokage title. I'll be looking for it," Konohamaru, Naruto said, giving a thumbs up with a big smile on his face. It's the next day. As usual, Naruto was sitting next to Shikamaru and Choji in class. This was the day they were announcing teams and their sensei. Naruto pretty much knew who he was going to team up with, but he still preferred Shikamaru or Choji. Sadly though, they were going to be in a team with Ino. The famous Ino Shikacho formation. He pretty much guessed who he was teaming with, but he still hated it. Holding back seemed to be a really bad idea now. My brilliant idea just backfired, thought Naruto as he sighed. Iruka started announcing the teams. After a few teams were announced, he said Team 7. Haruno Sakura. "Oh boy, here it comes," Naruto said. Uzumaki Naruto and Uchiha Sasuke. Iruka finished. "Great. I really do not like these two, especially her," Naruto sighed. Naruto knew how important was teamwork and all that, but he just couldn't handle Sakura. The most annoying fangirl out of them all. Sasuke wasn't that bad. He's quiet and doesn't seem to cause any problems. After Iruka finished announcing their teams, they had a lunch break, and after that, they would meet their sensei. It would make sense to get to know your teammates better during this lunch break, but Naruto just didn't see that happening. If he tried to approach them, they would just tell him to scram. After lunch break was over and every team had already met their sensei, Team 7 was the only one in the class. "He's late," was what all three were thinking. After waiting patiently, their new sensei had finally arrived. Naruto immediately recognized him. He remembered reading about him. Naruto was happy getting a sensei as good as him. The sensei had spiky silver hair often oriented to his left side and dark gray eyes. Well, since his left eye was covered by the forehead protector. He also wore standard Jonin clothes. My first impression of you guys, well, you don't seem so bad," the Jonin said. "Meet me at the rooftop," he then said and left. After that Naruto also immediately left, which Sasuke and Sakura didn't seem to have noticed. Naruto arrived right after his new sensei. Nice speed, the Jonin thought. He knew Naruto was trained by Tenzo, but he still didn't know Naruto's capabilities. Tenzo wouldn't tell him. Tenzo told him that he would find out for himself eventually. The others had also arrived. Sasuke was shocked to see Naruto be there before him. He didn't even see him run past them. "Well, let's begin with introducing yourselves," the Jonin said. "What do you want to know?" Sakura asked. Well, how about your likes and dislikes, your dreams for the future, and things like that, the Jonin replied. Why don't you introduce yourself to us first, Sakura said. That might be the smartest thing you have said, Sakura. Naruto thought. Me? Alright. I'm Hada Kakashi. I have no intention of telling you my likes and dislikes. As for my dream, I have a few hobbies. Kakashi said. Really didn't reveal much about himself, Naruto thought. Now it's your turn, Kakashi said. Alright. My name is Uzumaki Naruto. I like to train a lot and I like to eat ramen. What I dislike or is people who hate on someone else without knowing anything about them. My dream is to become the strongest shinobi and then become the greatest Hokage there was. As for my hobbies, training I guess. Naruto said. Interesting, Kakashi thought. Well, you're next, Kakashi said looking at the Uchiha. My name is Uchiha Sasuke. I dislike a lot of stuff and don't really like anything. I can't really call it a dream, but I have an ambition. The resurrection of my clan and to kill a certain man. Sasuke said. Like I thought, Kakashi thought. Revenge, huh? Naruto thought. All Sakura could think of was how cool he was. Okay, and lastly the girl, Kakashi said looking at Sakura. My name is Haruno Sakura. The thing I like is, well, the person I like is, and my dream for the future, Sakura said, screeching while looking at Sasuke. Girls of this age are more interested in love than ninjutsu, Kakashi thought while shaking his head. And this is why I don't like her. Naruto thought. So far for the introductions. Tomorrow we'll start our duties as shinobi. We are going to do something with just the four of us. Kakashi said. What is it? Naruto asked. Survival training, Kakashi replied. The three genin looked at Kakashi with confusion. We are going to train. But not normal training. I'm going to be your opponent. Said Kakashi as he started laughing a little. What kind of training? Why are you laughing? Asked Sakura. Naruto looked confused as to why he was laughing, so he also asked. Oh, nothing, it's just that if I told you, you chicken out. Continued Kakashi. Chicken out? Why? Asked Sakura again. Of the 27 members of your graduating class, only 9 will actually be accepted as genin shinobi. The test we are about to perform has a 66% rate of failure, answered Kakashi. Naruto was now beginning to worry. A 66% rate of failure. I won't fail this. I will become the greatest Hokage, declared Naruto as he was holding his fist. Naruto then looked up and realized he said it out loud and just looked away. Kakashi looked at Naruto for a moment but then continued. In any event, we'll meet tomorrow morning on the practice field so I can evaluate each of your skills and weaknesses. Make sure to go all out. Oh, and I wouldn't eat breakfast if I were you. Unless you enjoy throwing up, that is. Kakashi then gives a handout with details to the assignment to the 3 students and shined away. Breakfast? Thought Naruto as he was confused about that comment. Without paying attention, Naruto picks the handout up and also shined away with confused looks by Sasuke and Sakura seeing Naruto's speed. Training field the next day. Kakashi had just arrived in the training field. A few hours too late. Good morning. Said Kakashi. You're late. Yelled Sakura. Kakashi just ignored her and put down the clock. I've set this alarm to go off at noon. Your challenge is to steal these 2 bells from me before it sets off. If you fail to get a bell, then you'll be tied to that tree stump and are not allowed to eat lunch. Explained Kakashi. So that's why we were implied to eat no breakfast, thought Naruto. After Kakashi saw the funny faces the students made, he continued. All you need is 1 single bell. Since there is 3 of you and only 2 bells, 1 of you is definitely getting tied to that tree stump and also head back to the academy. Naruto was pretty confused at this point but decided not to ask any questions for now. Come at me with intent to kill or else you don't stand a chance, said Kakashi. But that's too dangerous, said Sakura with a worried face. No, he's a jonin. A high-rank ninja. Shouldn't be much of a problem to handle 3 students. Explained Naruto while shaking his head. Exactly. Now start. Declared Kakashi. Sakura and Sasuke went into hiding while Naruto stayed in one place facing Kakashi. Well, I had high hopes for you, said Kakashi as he pulled a book out. Naruto put his hands behind his head and laughed a little. You know, I've been thinking since yesterday. Have you now? Said Kakashi completely uninterested. Yes. I failed to understand how they expect 3 students to defeat the legendary copy ninja, continued Naruto. Kakashi then looked at Naruto wondering if he had figured it out. He didn't respond back. I think I might have figured it out, but I'm not sure. If I did, then it's pretty dumb for you to expect us to get along so soon. Especially with an arrogant guy like Sasuke. Said Naruto as he saw Kakashi change his facial expression. Then a poof was heard from a little far away from the direction Sasuke was hiding. As soon as the poof was heard, Naruto shook his head. Kakashi was confused as to what that poof was. Seeing how Naruto reacted to the poof and that it came from where Sasuke was hiding, he got an idea as to what that was. So, what now? Asked Kakashi. Well, I'll do my best to show my skills. As soon as Naruto said that, something grabbed Kakashi's feet from underneath the ground. Immediately after that, another clone of Naruto was rushing with his arm encased in rock, aiming at a stunned Kakashi's stomach. Impressive, thought Kakashi as he substituted with a log. That's not all, thought Naruto as another clone, this time with dark red lightning surrounding him, headed for the bells. He expected the substitution. And what is that lightning? Thought Kakashi. Naruto was really close to getting the bell as he was about to touch them, but then Kakashi just poofed. Of course, thought Naruto. Kakashi then just came out of the forest. This all had happened while Naruto, the original, stayed in one place with his hands behind his head. As if he wasn't trying. Was hoping that would work, thought Naruto. Naruto then pulled out a kunai. It was the special kunai he bought before. He had pretty much gotten used to fighting with them. Naruto that's don't tell me you can use it, said Kakashi, totally surprised with what kunai Naruto was using. The same kunai the man he respected used. Well, we are about to find out, aren't we, said Naruto as he started rushing at Kakashi. Naruto was trying to stab him, but Kakashi was easily able to predict and dodge him. Naruto went in for a punch on the face as Kakashi blocked. A clone appeared before Naruto, kicking Kakashi and pushing him a couple of meters away. Another 4 shadow clones immediately rushed Kakashi. After a few moments, Kakashi had dispelled all the clones of Naruto. Naruto pulled out several of the special kunai and threw them all around Kakashi. So, you can use it, said Kakashi, shocked at the young boy's skill. Naruto then again started rushing Kakashi. After throwing in a few punches, Kakashi was about to counter. Naruto then, without Kakashi noticing, activated the dark red lightning mode and sunshine to the nearest special kunai and then deactivated it. Leaving a red flash behind, making it seem as if he had teleported. Kakashi was beyond shocked at this point as he was looking at Naruto. Then suddenly a clone of Naruto came from the underground again, but this time surrounded by that lightning. Kakashi couldn't react in time due to the shock that a student was using his sensei's main jutsu. The clone barely managed to get a bell. The clone threw the bell at the original and poofed. Naruto then smiled as he saw the shocked face of the legendary copy ninja. How did you learn the Hiruzen, Naruto? Asked Kakashi, shocked. I didn't, said Naruto while he rubbed the back of his head. What? Asked Kakashi again, now confused. I only used the kunais to confuse you. When I teleported I actually used the lightning mode to shunshin to the nearest kunai. It worked though, huh, said Naruto as he then laughed a little. Kakashi was really shocked at his skills. A student managed to trick him and steal his bell. And what is that lightning mode you used? Is it really what I think it is? Asked Kakashi. Yep. Although on a much lower scale, replied Naruto. And that poof earlier? Asked Kakashi again. Flashback to a few minutes ago, Naruto's clone went to where Sasuke was hiding. He wanted to convince Sasuke to work together. Listen, you can't defeat him alone, said Naruto while he hid near Sasuke. Shut up. I alone will get those bells, replied Sasuke. Look, I know you're a proud Uchiha and all that, but if you want to become a shinobi then we have to work together, continued Naruto. You're a clone, right? Asked Sasuke, to which Naruto nodded. Good, said Sasuke as he stabbed Naruto with a kunai. Great, now I have to find a new hiding place. Flashback end. I see, well, you can wait here I guess. And don't you dare eat the lunch, ordered Kakashi. Oh, don't worry, I don't need to, replied Naruto. So, you've also already eaten lunch? Asked Kakashi. Of course. Important meal of the day, so much so I was going to risk throwing up, answered Naruto. Kakashi smiled as he headed out to test out the other 2 students. Sasuke and Sakura were really shocked at the skill Naruto displayed. He actually managed to steal a bell from an elite jonin. They were stuck in one place waiting for Kakashi to drop his guard. What is that? How did he move so fast? And that power, how is he so strong? Thought Sasuke, jealous of the power Naruto had just shown. Sakura was amazed and shocked at the same time. She thought Naruto was just an average student. She never got to talk to him, so she had no idea who he was. Maybe I should have gone with him, thought Sasuke. Sasuke then heard Sakura scream. He got her. Sasuke then looked back as he noticed Kakashi behind him. Without saying a word, Sasuke decided to attack. He threw shuriken at Kakashi, to which he managed to dodge to his right. The shuriken Sasuke threw though had set off the trap Sasuke prepared before. The trap shot a few kunais in Kakashi's direction. Kakashi, realizing the trap, also managed to dodge them. Sasuke went behind Kakashi as he did a spinning sidekick, to which Kakashi managed to block with his left arm. Kakashi then grabbed Sasuke's leg with his right hand. Sasuke tried to punch with his right hand, but Kakashi also managed to grab his hand. Kakashi had now grabbed both his right hand and his left leg. Sasuke then used his right leg trying to kick Kakashi in the head, but Kakashi had also blocked that. At that moment, Sasuke was so close to getting the remaining bell. He just barely touched it as Kakashi then let go of Sasuke and jumped away. After a few hand signs, Sasuke said, fire style. Fireball jutsu as a hot ball of fire came out of Sasuke's mouth seemingly hitting Kakashi. Sasuke was now confused as to where Kakashi was. Behind me above. Thought Sasuke. Below you, said Kakashi as he grabbed Sasuke's foot and pulled him underground, only leaving his head out. Kakashi then left Sasuke there. Sakura had just woken up from the genjutsu Kakashi had put her in. As she walked around, she finally arrived at where Sasuke was. Oh no. Sasuke's head has been severed, screamed Sakura to the top of her lungs and fainted. Sasuke was confused as to what just happened and got out. A moment later Sakura got up to see Sasuke up and alive again. She screamed, "Sasuke, you're alive," and hugged him tightly. "Yes, I'm fine. You can let me go now," said Sasuke. Sasuke then stood up and went in Kakashi's direction as he said, "Time's almost up. I already almost got the bell, but I will get it next time." Sakura was worried. Naruto had already gotten a bell somehow, and Sasuke was close to getting it too. At this rate, she was going to be the one left out. She was about to say something, but noticed that Sasuke was already gone. A moment later, the alarm rang. "Damn it. I was close to," cursed Sasuke. A few minutes later as everyone gathered, the three students sat down and before them was Kakashi. Kakashi sighed. A student was able to get his bell and trick. He was pretty upset about that. "You all failed," declared Kakashi. Shocked faces came from Sasuke and Sakura. Naruto had managed to get a bell, so at least he should pass. But he's failing too. "But Naruto managed to get a bell," said Sakura. Naruto knew why he was failing but didn't bother explaining because Kakashi was about to. "This test, did you ever stop and wonder what the point of this test was? If not that, then why the teams were divided?" asked Kakashi. He saw Sakura's confused face and then continued. "Obviously not. Because you never stopped to think why they were teams, you missed the point of this test from the beginning, which is also why you failed. The point of this test was teamwork," said Kakashi. "What? So, if I had accepted Naruto's offer I would have passed," thought Sasuke, pissed off at this. "But, because Naruto brought off a good point, I will give Naruto and Sasuke a chance. Because they were the ones who showed the most skill," said Kakashi as he tied Sakura up on the tree stump. "If you two can follow simple orders and eat lunch without giving any to Sakura, then you two pass," declared Kakashi. With that Kakashi leaves the training field. Sakura was pretty upset. She had guessed this was coming. "At least I'm helping Sasuke pass, no matter how little help that is," thought Sakura as her stomach growled. After countless growls from Sakura's stomach, Naruto decided to step in and feed her. "What are you doing?" "Stop, didn't you hear?" said Sakura. "Just eat." "I already ate, so I'm not hungry anyway," replied Naruto. "Wait, what do you mean you already ate?" asked Sasuke. "By that, I mean that I ate breakfast," answered Naruto. But didn't Sakura was about to continue but was interrupted by Naruto. "I know what he said, but he only implied to not eat. He didn't order us." "And why would anyone order you to skip an important meal of the day?" said Naruto, shaking his head, but then feeding her. After that Sasuke also offered his lunch. Sakura was screaming about how happy she was that she was about to be fed by her crush, but that all came to a drain because of one guy, Naruto. "No need. As I said, I already ate while you haven't eaten since yesterday," said Naruto, and then Sasuke continued eating his lunch. Sakura was furious at what Naruto had just done and yelled, but stopped as she then thought a little. Sasuke hadn't eaten, so he needs all the food he can get right now. After one bite of Naruto's lunch, a big puff of smoke appeared and out of it came Kakashi saying, "You all pass." Naruto had although guessed this was what would have happened. He wouldn't just pass us for not giving lunch to someone. "We all pass." "But why?" asked Sakura, shocked. "You three have just taken a giant step forward. Up until now, all any of you have done is listen unquestioningly to everything I say like mindless, little drones," said Kakashi. He looked at the three students for a moment and then continued. "The true shinobi seeks for the hidden meaning within meanings in a ninja's world. Those who violated the rules and fail to follow orders are lower than scum, however. Those who do not care for and support their comrades are even lower than that." The three students, now genin, looked at their sensei and how cool he was. "That's all. Team 7, your first mission will commence tomorrow," said Kakashi with a thumbs up. "Now let's go home." Almost 2 months passed since Naruto had become a real ninja. Team 7 had gone in countless D-rank missions. And they had grown tired of it. During the 2 months, Naruto wore the chakra weights and adding more weight every now and then. He trained every time he had the chance to. He had also managed to pull off the Hiruzen with the help of shadow clones. But it was still really useless in battle. He couldn't use it efficiently and it took way too long to pull off. But it was still progress in his eyes. Team 7 was coming back after finishing another D-rank mission and ready to take on another mission. "Now the next missions for Team 7 will be babysitting, run errands to the neighboring village," said Hiruzen. The three genin were getting tired of this but didn't want to say anything, except one. "Jij lore 3rd, I think we are all ready for at least a C-rank missions. We have finished countless D rank without fail, and I'm sure we qualify for a C rank. Ask Kakashi-sensei too, said Naruto. Kakashi, do you think that your team is ready for a C rank? Asked Hiruzen. Kakashi then looked at the three young genin and said, yes, Lord Third. After a moment of silence, Hiruzen finally decided that he would give them a C rank mission. It's decided then, said Hiruzen. Iruka didn't even know what to say. Hiruzen already made a decision, so he just stood quiet. Also proud of his students. I will permit you to a C rank mission. The protection of a certain individual. Please invite him in, ordered Hiruzen. An old man came in through the door. He was gray-haired, with a large beard and dark eyes. He wore a sleeveless V-neck shirt with an obi, pants, and a pair of sandals. He also carried a towel around his neck and wore a pointed hat on his head. He was drunk and had a bottle of liquor with him. What's going on here? It's a joke, right? Those wet-nosed brats aren't really ninjas, right? Naruto then looked at him. Observing the old man and then deciding not to say anything. He was still really excited for the first C rank mission. Tazuna then getting no reaction says, I am Tazuna, a bridge builder. Until I am safely back in my own country where I'll be completing my next bridge, you'll all be expected to protect me, even if it costs you your lives. Alright. My name is Naruto Uzumaki. Let's go on our first C rank mission, said Naruto excitedly. Team 7 and Tazuna were leaving the village. For a moment Naruto stopped and suddenly looked at the left side up on the trees. Naruto didn't see anything unusual, but he definitely knew he sensed something for a moment. Seeing as there was nothing there, Naruto caught up with the rest of the team. Sakura, Tazuna, and Kakashi were chatting about the land of waves. After a few more moments of walking and after passing a small puddle of water, something happened. Naruto realized too late. Two shinobi came out of the puddle and attacked Kakashi with a chain. They wrapped Kakashi with the chain and sliced him up. First one, they said. The genin were terrified. They just saw their sensei get sliced up. Naruto lost focus for a moment and the two shinobi appeared behind him. Reacting fast, Naruto used a substitution jutsu and appeared behind them. Naruto quickly made a shadow clone and threw it at them. The two shinobi slashed it with their metal claws they had in one of their hand. Naruto, giving them no room to react and move, rushed through the smoke the shadow clone made and with his arm encased in rock, tried to punch them. The enemy blocked with the metal claw he had, but it was crushed due to the force of Naruto's punch. He wasn't holding back. Immediately after crushing the metal claw, Naruto did a spinning hook kick that landed on the other shinobi's face. The two shinobi were both on the ground and after one look at each other, they rushed at Tazuna, completely ignoring Naruto. Naruto was about to jump in and help him, but then stopped when he noticed someone else jump in. Kakashi. Kakashi-sensei? Said Naruto, shocked. He then looked at where Kakashi was sliced and saw small pieces of wood. Of course, should have known that. I was too shocked and that clouded my mind completely, thought Naruto, cursing himself. So this is a real battle. Kakashi then grabbed the two shinobi by their necks in a flash, rendering them unconscious. Good job, Naruto, said Kakashi. Sasuke was pretty pissed now. He wanted to jump in and fight, but Naruto didn't let him. He was faster than me, thought Sasuke as he clenched his fist. Sasuke, don't worry. Mr. Tazuna, said Kakashi. Well, what is it? Asked Tazuna. Our attackers appeared to be Chunin level ninja of the Kurigakure clan Mist Ninjas. They are shinobi renowned for their willingness to fight on until their goal is achieved, even at the cost of their own lives. Obviously, they were watching and waiting for us, said Kakashi. If you knew all that, why did you even let those creeps attack you? Asked Tazuna. I could have killed them at any time, but I wanted to find out who their real target was, said Kakashi. What do you mean by that? Asked Tazuna again. Were you really the one they were after? Or was it one of us ninja? There has been no word of any shinobi seeking to take your life. The request that was relayed to Lord Hokage was that you have an escort to protect you against any roving bands of thieves and brigands. In any case, it's clear this is more than a B-rank mission. To protect you from ordinary danger until you complete the bridge you're currently constructing would be a simple thing, said Kakashi. Tazuna stayed silent. Kakashi looked at him and then continued. But if you expect it to be the target of a ninja assault, then it is beyond question that this would have been classified and priced as a mission for Chunin or Jonin ninja. Tazuna stayed silent again. Should we turn back? I mean, we are still genin, we aren't strong enough for this mission yet, said Sakura. No. We are completing this mission no matter what. This is our first high-rank mission and we are completing it without fail. Old man, I promise you, I will protect you with all I have. Said Naruto. Kakashi looked at Naruto, smiling at the fine shinobi he has become. Sakura? Asked Kakashi, seeing if her mind changed. Sakura thought for a little and then said, if we are all doing it, then I'm not going to be the only one staying back, said Sakura. It's decided then, said Kakashi. Mr. Sensei, sir, I have something you need to know, said Tazuna, catching everyone's attention. Tazuna started explaining about the dangerous man who is after his life. Gato. It is said that he's the richest man alive. Tazuna then continued to explain why Gato wants his head. Gato didn't want Tazuna to complete the bridge. That was the reason why Tazuna had sent ninjas after them and will probably send more. Tazuna then also explained why he didn't tell them this firsthand. It was because their land was poor to begin with and Tazuna didn't have enough money to pay for a B-rank mission. After Tazuna finished all this he said, "I get it if you want to return now, I'll be as good as dead if you leave though. Old man, we have already decided to help you. Don't worry about it," said Naruto with a thumbs up. Kakashi also nodding. Tazuna then cheered up. "Thank you," he said. Team 7 had to ride a boat to get to the other side. After arriving on land they thanked the man who took them there and took off. Naruto kept his senses up even more than before. Another attack is probably happening and he wanted to be prepared for it. Naruto then sensed something and quickly threw a kunai in that direction. Kakashi had also sensed that, but when they looked at what that was, it was a snow rabbit. "Did you just?" said Sakura as she tried to punch Naruto for doing something like that to a poor rabbit. Naruto raised an eyebrow at what she was trying to do and dodged her. "What?" asked Naruto confused. Sakura then got pissed off and tried to punch him again, but Naruto dodged again. "You should stop," said Naruto. Sakura, seeing as she wasn't able to punch him, stopped. Kakashi was looking at the rabbit. "That's a snow hare. It's springtime. So why is it still wearing its winter pelt?" thought Kakashi. Kakashi then sensed something about to attack, but before he could want the others, Naruto did it first. "Take cover everyone," yelled Naruto. The big sword came in swinging, but it stopped after it hit a tree. Standing on the sword's hilt was a tall and noticeably muscular man with light grayish skin, short spiky black hair, dark brown eyes, and small eyebrows. He was shirtless, with his chest only covered by a belt. He wore baggy pants with a striped pattern and mimetic wrist warmers extending up to his elbows, with matching leg warmers. Well, if it isn't Mamachi Zabuza, the kid who ran off and left Land of the Mists," said Kakashi. Naruto was getting ready to fight but was stopped by Kakashi. "Do not interfere. I'll take him alone, he is far too strong for any of you," said Kakashi as he was pulling his headband up. "He's going to use it. I should better stand back," thought Naruto. "This may get a little rough," said Kakashi. The situation had escalated. Way worse than Naruto had thought. The man who attacked them was one of the legendary 7 swordsmen of the mist. The man named Zabuza was also known as the demon of the hidden mist. Kakashi even used his Sharingan against him, but he was tricked and now trapped. Trapped in the jutsu called water style. Water prison. Zabuza's right hand was stuck keeping the water prison up. Kakashi couldn't do anything to get out of it. With the left hand, Zabuza made hand signs and created a water clone. Crap. I need to get Kakashi out of there, thought Naruto. He looked at Sasuke, but he was still influenced by the killer intent Zabuza was letting out. Zabuza was insulting the genin. Telling them that they weren't ninjas, not until they were on his bingo book. Naruto took that personally. Zabuza's clone used the mist jutsu while hiding himself. It was useless. During this time Naruto's sensing abilities had improved by a great amount. Naruto knew which direction Zabuza was coming. Zabuza was about to kick Naruto to the stomach, but Naruto ducked down as he quickly went through hand signs. Naruto took a deep breath and then spun while exhaling, compressing the air into a solitary blade of wind, slashing Zabuza's clone multiple times. Damn brat, cursed Zabuza as he prepared another water clone. "Sasuke. Take this kunai and throw it at the original when I tell you to," ordered Naruto. Sasuke didn't like taking orders, but it seemed like Naruto's plan. Naruto made 10 shadow clones to help Sasuke while he himself stood still concentrating. After a few moments, Zabuza's clone had already dispelled all of Naruto's clones and was attacking Sasuke head-on. "Anytime now," Naruto yelled. "Sasuke. Wait," said Naruto quietly while still concentrating. After a few more moments Naruto yelled, "Now." Sasuke smirked. "Took you long enough," said Sasuke as he threw the kunai at the direction of Zabuza. Sasuke was still confused as to what that was going to accomplish. Zabuza started laughing. "What are you trying to do, a kunai?" said Zabuza after simply dodging it, letting the kunai go past his body. Naruto also smirks as he teleported to the kunai Zabuza just dodged. "This kunai will be your downfall," said Naruto as he quickly went through hand signs at a great speed and said, "Wind style. Vacuum great sphere." The large sphere of compressed wind chakra came out of Naruto's mouth going in Zabuza's direction. Zabuza was beyond shocked and was barely able to dodge it. He dodged it at the cost of letting the jutsu that was holding Kakashi go. A small price to pay for not getting hit by that. Who knows what would have happened if he was directly hit by that jutsu. "Naruto, great job. You've all done a great job. Now leave this to me," said Kakashi praising Naruto. "How did he get behind me?" thought Zabuza. Kakashi went against Zabuza in an intense battle of ninjutsu. A great number of hand signs and that at a greater speed than Naruto had ever seen. Kakashi was able to copy every jutsu Zabuza was unleashing and using it against him at the same time. But in the end, the inevitable happened. Kakashi used a jutsu Zabuza was about to use. It seemed like he could see the future. That damn Sharingan thought Zabuza as he was hit by the same jutsu he was about to use. Bastard, can you see the future? Asked Zabuza as he was hit by a few kunai by Kakashi. Yes, and I see your death, said Kakashi. As soon as he said that, Zabuza was hit by senbon needles on the neck, seemingly killing him. Team 7 and Tazuna then looked at the direction the senbon came from. It looked like a mist Anbu. Thank you very much. I have been looking for a chance to kill Zabuza, and you gave me that chance, the female-looking mist Anbu said. Both Naruto and Kakashi went to where Zabuza's body was and checked for a pulse. Nothing. Zabuza was dead, but Naruto just was feeling something off about this. He looks the same age as me too, thought Naruto. Naruto couldn't help but feel useless. Even though he had sensing abilities, they were proven useless 3 times now. The demon brothers shouldn't even have had the chance to attack. Same with Zabuza. If only I was stronger was the only thought that went through Naruto's mind. He was frustrated. All that training, but it all seemed for nothing. Naruto clenched his fist in desperation. Kakashi noticed that. He knew what was going through Naruto's mind and knew that he shouldn't feel that way. He was plenty of help. Naruto, don't worry about it, you still did a very good job, said Kakashi. The mist Anbu grabbed Zabuza and thanked Team 7 before disappearing with a shunshin. Team 7 was quiet until Tazuna broke the silence. Alright, you guys can rest at my home, he said. Alright, our mission isn't over yet, so let's go you guys, said Kakashi. As they started heading their way, Kakashi finally felt it. The after effect of using the Sharingan. As soon as he felt it, he fell down unconscious. All but Naruto looked at Kakashi shocked and worried. Naruto knew what it was, so he grabbed Kakashi with the help of a shadow clone and headed for Tazuna's house. A week passed since Kakashi fell unconscious. And after 1 full week, he had finally woken up. During this week, Naruto had gone through acceptable growth. Seeing as Sasuke and Sakura trained together, Naruto made 50 clones of himself. Dividing the clones in half and having one group train on the Hiruzen and the other on chakra control and sensing technique. Naruto already had really good chakra control, but he still wanted to train and take it to even higher levels, and that would help with his next goal. The Hiruzen and be able to sense unconsciously. While the clones did that, the original used more than he could handle, chakra weights, and helped Tsunami around the house. She was Tazuna's daughter. He did learn quite a lot about cooking during the time with her, and he was quite fond of her. Unlike his son, Inari. Naruto didn't have the chance to talk with him, but it was obvious he didn't like them too. The moment Kakashi woke up, he started thinking about what happened the last time he was conscious. Connecting the dots, Kakashi realized that Zabuza is probably still alive. And after he explained that to the rest of Team 7, they were all shocked. Naruto too, since he personally checked his pulse. Naruto cursed himself yet again for not realizing himself. Being on his first missions, the stress, the murderous intent he got from Zabuza, those all just watered down his thinking. Anyways, to prepare for what's probably to come, I'll have you all go through some training, said Kakashi while laughing a little. Naruto was excited. He's going to get trained by a legendary ninja. But oh, the disappointment when he showed them what he was going to train them on. Tree walking. Seriously? We all know that already, said Naruto looking disappointed at his sensei. Sasuke and Sakura looked at Naruto confused. You mean to tell us that you can walk up to a tree as Kakashi-sensei did? Asked Sakura. A moment of silence came from Naruto as he realized that these two can't even do simple tree walking. Naruto then walked up to a tree and went to a branch standing upside down. Sasuke and Sakura were shocked. Even Kakashi, but then he remembered that he walked on water too. How is he doing that? That bastard, one time he's just an average dude and the other he's just able to teleport and walk on trees, thought Sasuke. Impressive, said Kakashi as he went on to explain how they can do that and telling them that he expects them to do the same. Kakashi then was wondering what to do with Naruto and how to train him, but then Naruto called him. Why do you walk so strange like that? Asked Kakashi. Oh, so you noticed it's because of the chakra weights. It's a bit too much, but I have to do my best to improve as much as I can. Anyways, I need you to overlook my training for a little, please, said Naruto. Kakashi was shocked but also impressed. He's pushing his body to his limits. If he didn't have the regeneration of the Kyuubi, his body would have broken down, thought Kakashi, giving Naruto a nod and following him. Before Kakashi were 50 clones of Naruto. All training hard. He noticed that some were training on the Hiruzen, some on chakra control, and the others on sensing abilities. How long have you been training like this? Asked Kakashi. Well, for the whole week, answered Naruto chuckling a little. He just continues to impress me, thought Kakashi. I imagine you know quite a lot about me since you asked me to help you in that particular jutsu, said Kakashi. Naruto nodded. Well, there is not much I could help you really. I can't use it if that's what you're wondering. But I can still give you some tips since I've witnessed it with my own eyes countless of times, continued Kakashi. Naruto was sparkling with joy. He might finally make better progress. After Kakashi gave Naruto some tips, he went off to do his own thing. While the shadow clones trained, Naruto kept doing laps and doing physical training while increasing the weight as much as he could. After doing countless lapses, Naruto ended up to where Sasuke was, but he couldn't move anymore. He fell down, breathing heavily. He looked at Sasuke as he started laughing. Sasuke was pissed. "What are you laughing at?" he asked. "Oh, nothing, nothing. It's just that the fact that Sakura finished before the legendary Uchiha is hilarious to me. The Uchiha don't seem that great to me now," said Naruto, trying to taunt him. And it was working. "What was that, you asshole?" replied Sasuke, furious at the comments Naruto made. Naruto couldn't move an inch, so having an Uchiha attack him wasn't something he was looking for. "Chill, Dumbus. I can help you with your training if you want," offered Naruto. "HMPH, like I'd need help from someone like you," replied Sasuke. "Wow, you really are a Dumbus. I'm seriously offering you help over here. Listen, I know you are all about revenge and stuff, but I'm telling you, you need to forget about that stuff for now. If you want revenge, then you need to have 100% of your attention on training. Don't think about anything else but that. Just get off your high horse and fully focus on your training," said Naruto. Sasuke then looked at him and said, "Thank you," in a low and embarrassing voice, and then quickly looked away. Naruto noticed that his stamina is back, so he went away to run. Still increasing the weights and having Kurama heal him. "Thank you, Kurama," said Naruto, getting no response. He had tried to contact him, but Kurama seemed to ignore him for some reason, so Naruto left him alone for now. 6 days have passed. 6 days of hard and torturous training. He had trained so hard and non-stop. He went out earlier than everyone and came later than everyone else. He ate alone every time, but Naruto had gotten used to it, so he didn't mind. He had greatly increased his sensing abilities, and his body had also improved way more than he had first imagined because of Kurama. He was still stuck on the Hiruzen. He just couldn't use it fast enough as the fourth did. "Guess I've still got ways to go," thought Naruto as he laid down from exhaustion. His stamina was completely gone, so he could barely move, but his sensing was still up. "Don't move," said Naruto in a commanding voice while holding his kunai. It was a girl, or that's what he looked like, but Naruto knew damn well that wasn't a girl and that this was the Miss Danbu that took Zabuza away. "I can't move," thought Naruto as he cursed himself. He could have taken him out and then only have Zabuza to deal with. What?" the guy said in a worried voice. "It would be bad if I told him that I knew who he was since I can't defend myself." "I'll play along," thought Naruto. He put down his kunai and said, sorry. I thought you were going to attack me or something," said Naruto while giggling. "Oh. You do look like a ninja too. It must be tiresome to live in constant danger," said the boy while smiling. "Not really. I'm used to it," replied Naruto. "Just a little longer and I'll take you down," thought Naruto as he gripped the kunai tighter. The boy noticed that and was worried if Naruto had noticed. "I should probably go now. He might have noticed me," he thought. "How nice. I've picked up the herbs I needed, so I'll go now. Good luck on your training," he said. Crap, he noticed. "Come one body, come one," thought Naruto, but it was too late. At the time Naruto regained his stamina, he was already gone. He rushed in the direction he had gone, but there were no signs of him. "This damn nothing is going my way and I hate this," thought Naruto. Naruto then released all the clones and the chakra weights. He made 100 clones to only focus on the Hiruzen training while he himself got used to his new body. The next evening Naruto thought that it's a good idea for him to rest since he's probably going to fight in the next few days. He didn't want to be useless like he did in the past fights. He went to Tazuna's home earlier than in the past few days and he was all beat up. He practiced Taijutsu against his clones and was all dirty and tired. "Oh, Naruto. Earlier than usual, huh?" said Kakashi. "Yay," said a tired Naruto as he sat on the diner table. Sasuke came a little later. He had been able to walk to the top of the tree a few days ago, but he came all beat up because he was doing his own Taijutsu training. Before Naruto sat Inari, Tazuna's grandson. Naruto had noticed before Inari looking at him train but didn't say anything. Inari suddenly started crying. "Why? Why do you keep trying? No matter how much you train, you will never beat Gato," he said while tears flowing out of his eyes and then continued, "No matter how hard try, the weak will always lose to the strong." Naruto didn't say anything at first as he stared at Inari. "I'm not weak and I will definitely defeat Gato," said Naruto full of confidence. "Gato is too strong. All this pointless hope will lead you nowhere. Always being an optimist, always full of confidence, and always believing that you'll do it but you won't. You don't know real pain," yelled Inari while tears still pouring down his face. Naruto was infuriated. "This brat," thought Naruto. "You just keep crying and crying like a damn crybaby. Unlike you, I won't sit still, I will keep trying until I can't anymore." "Naruto, that's too much," said Sakura. Naruto looked at her and then stood up and got out. He was pissed off and at this time only training could help him clear his mind. He wanted to train his taijutsu, so he made a few shadow clones to fight against until his body can't take it anymore. He later realized that Kakashi had talked to Inari and as soon as he noticed that his body gave up and fell down, unable to stand anymore, he made the shadow clones pick him up and take him to the bedroom and sleep. The next morning Kakashi, Sasuke, Sakura and Tazuna went to the bridge. Naruto had taken his body to its utmost limit and Kakashi let him sleep for today. When they arrived at the bridge they saw the bodies of the coworkers down. When they saw that, mist covered the bridge and they had finally realized what was happening. Naruto had been woken up because he had sensed something in his sleep. He had trained long enough to keep the sensing up even in his sleep, but it wasn't as good as it would be when he was woken up. When we woke up, a second later he heard a loud noise downstairs. Naruto realized it was someone with a sword and that he'd slashed the door open. He quickly rushed downstairs and saw Inari looking at the two men trying to kidnap his mother, Tsunami. Inari was about to rush the two to stop them, but Naruto stopped him. Naruto rushed the two in blinding speed and rendered them both unconscious in a matter of seconds. "Wow, so cool," said Inari. Said Naruto as he fist bumped with Inari. "You too, Inari. You were about to attack them, weren't you?" said Naruto smiling. Inari nodded. He was happy with the little improvement he just made. Naruto then made sure everyone is alright and then made 10 shadow clones just in case. Naruto noticed that Inari was crying. Inari kept trying to stop his tears from coming out and kept trying to wipe them, but he couldn't. "I'm sorry even though I chose not to cry you'll call me a crybaby again," said Inari while still trying to wipe them. "Idiot. It's okay to cry when you're happy," said Naruto while smiling. Naruto then realized something and said, "Inari, I'm sorry what I said yesterday. I take it back." "No, thank you," said Inari as he let the tears pour out. Naruto smiled and then said, "Alright then, I have to go help my teammate." Well, he stood still concentrating on the kunai Sasuke got from Naruto when they fought Zabuza before. Sasuke had kept it to try and find how Naruto had teleported before. It was still a mystery to him. Sasuke was fighting the masked guy that had posed as a Mistanbu. Naruto had already told them of his encounter with him so they already knew. Sasuke clashed with him, but Sasuke was obviously faster. All he did, Sasuke easily dodged. Sasuke sped up and went behind him, seemingly teleporting and kicked him away. "Haku, if you continue like this you will lose," said Zabuza. "Hi," said Haku as he did a hand sign. Suddenly ice started to form around Sasuke. The ice was turned into mirrors as it surrounded Sasuke like a dome. Sasuke was trapped inside. Haku went inside of one of the mirrors and started attacking Sasuke with Senbon. Sasuke covered his head with his hands protecting himself from the Senbon. Kakashi wanted to go and help Sasuke, but he was stopped by Zabuza. Sasuke waited for the Senbon to hit him, but it never did. He only heard a sound of a kunai deflecting them. He raised his head to see what happened only to see his teammate, Naruto. "Naruto?" said Sasuke shocked. He wanted to ask him how he came so fast, but then remembered the kunai he had from Naruto. Naruto was holding 2 of the special kunai in his hands, and on the ground surrounding them were Senbon that Naruto had stopped. Naruto looked around and saw that he was surrounded by ice mirrors, and the enemy was attacking with Senbons by moving between mirrors with insane speed. Naruto could follow him. Kakashi was with Zabuza, so all Naruto had to do was defeat this one enemy. "If it's frozen water then I will deal with this," said Sasuke as he went through a few hand signs and used the fireball jutsu. When the fireball hit, Sasuke noticed that his fire was still too weak against his ice. Water dripped down from the mirrors, but it still didn't do enough damage. Haku kept attacking with Senbons, but even this was too much for Naruto. He had to protect Sasuke and himself. For some reason Naruto felt that he couldn't move freely. His body weight being held back by something but he didn't know what. Attacks coming from every direction and it was hard to protect both himself and Sasuke. Naruto created a few shadow clones to protect Sasuke and distract Haku. He had to come up with a plan to counter him, while he also tried to figure out what was holding his body back. Haku destroyed all the clones, as well as the one that was protecting Sasuke. The area was covered in the mist because of Zabuza, and Naruto cursed as this was inconvenient for him. He tried destroying the mirrors with his fist encased in rock, but after destroying it, it regenerated again. Naruto created more clones attacking Haku, and Sasuke had started to also attack him with his fireball jutsu. Haku was starting to get overwhelmed with the two of them, and Naruto stayed in one place trying to find Haku's weakness. While Haku was busy attacking Naruto's clones, Sasuke had gotten his leg with the fireball jutsu. Naruto thought he could try something. He dispelled all his clone and started rushing Haku. Following him mirror to mirror. Naruto could follow him. Sasuke was looking at how fast Naruto was moving. Sasuke was shocked because even he himself couldn't move at that speed. Naruto was even more shocked because he knew he could move fast than this yet he couldn't. My body feels heavier and it's getting heavier every time. Just what is happening to my body, thought Naruto. Naruto kept following, waiting for him to run out of stamina or chakra. But then the unexpected happened. Haku decided to attack, ignoring Naruto. He went for Sasuke, throwing countless Enban at him. Naruto completely forgot about him. Using as much chakra as he could, he ran to Sasuke to protect him. But he was too slow. He should have been faster, but he still wondered why couldn't he move. He finally realized why he probably couldn't move. He unconsciously imagined himself wearing the weights that he used to train himself with, and that slowed him down. 2 weeks of torturous training, even though it granted him speed, he still hadn't gotten used to it as much as he liked to. His body was still remembering that strain, and because of that, he was slower. Due to the stress of not wanting to be useless and wanting to save Sasuke, his body remembered the strain and wouldn't go any faster. It was strange. The after effect of using way more weights than the body could handle and abusing Kurama's healing, thought Naruto as he cursed himself. He looked at Sasuke getting stabbed with countless Enban as Sasuke fell down on the ground. He saw Sasuke get killed right before his eyes. He cursed his body and himself. He looked at Sasuke's seemingly lifeless body as Naruto was overflowing with rage. Naruto was covered with smoke and was boiling with rage. "You will pay with your life," said Naruto. Red demonic chakra was circling around him as it cracked the ground. The color of his eyes changed to that of Kurama's. The iris changed to red and the pupils slit. His nails and canine teeth grew longer and sharper. His hair also grew longer and spikier, and the whisker-like marks on his cheeks widened and thickened. "Good, Naruto. Give in to hatred. I will kill him for you. I will take revenge for you," said Kurama, laughing at him. Naruto was enraged. He looked at Sasuke's body one more time, and his rage increased even more. He looked at Kurama, trying to influence him to give him his body. That was when Naruto came back to his senses. He was a shinobi, he shouldn't give in to hatred so easily. He will kill his enemy, not because he killed Sasuke, but because he is a threat to Konoha and his mission. He regained control over his body, and as soon as he came to, he saw Senbon flying towards him. But before they could hit him, something strange happened. The Senbon stopped as though they had hit an invisible wall right before they came near Naruto, and then fell to the ground. Naruto didn't know what that was but paid it no mind. Naruto punched every single mirror down to the last one. His speed was way more impressive than before, and before the ice could regenerate, Naruto destroyed another mirror. When it came down to the last one, Haku couldn't escape. Naruto focused Kurama's chakra into his fist and with all his strength punched him in his guts. Naruto's punch went through him, and as he pulled his hand out, Naruto could see the other side through Haku's wound. Haku dropped down lifeless. Naruto's red chakra went away and he finally calmed down. Naruto looked down on Haku's lifeless body as he noticed the mist clear away. He looked to his right, happy to see his sensei had also finished the job. He sat down in relief that it was finally over. "Stupid, I will never fall in hatred. And I swear, I will never be so down like I was just now," said Naruto as he saw Kurama hide in the shadows of his cage. Naruto looked at Sasuke, still upset that he just lost a comrade. He hated this, every time some inconvenience showed up and Naruto couldn't do anything. He couldn't use his powers as much as he wanted to. He was always held back by something. He noticed that he was fully healed and that his body wasn't suffering anymore and he could use it at its full capabilities. What's the point? It's too late, the enemy is dead and Sasuke is too weak. I'm too weak, thought Naruto. He was beginning to hate himself. He clenched his fist as he was punching the ground again and again. His fist was immediately healed after punching the ground, but Naruto just kept hitting as he couldn't stop. He had finally noticed someone coming. Gato and his men. Kakashi was getting ready to fight them alone, but Naruto stopped him. "Leave this to me," yelled Naruto. Kakashi looked at Naruto and saw the determination. He stood ready to jump in at any moment. "You better run if you don't want to die," yelled Naruto again as he pulled 2 kunai in each of his hands. The men laughed at the kid. "What's a kid like you going to do?" asked one of them. Naruto finally wanted to contribute to his mission, and since he wasn't getting held back by anything right now, he was going to kill every one of them. "I'm going to slash your throats, each and every one of you is dead now," declared Naruto as he rushed at them. He went through them with his kunai, slashing their throats open. No mercy. He didn't care anymore. He was too far gone after killing Haku, and as a shinobi, he will kill anyone who interferes with his mission. They couldn't react to him. He was too fast for them to even see him. All they saw before their life ended was a dark red flash. After mere seconds, Naruto slashed everyone. Everyone was on the ground soaked in their own blood. The whole ground was painted red and Naruto was stained by their filthy blood. Show no regret. Naruto went back to the team as if he hadn't just mercilessly killed Gato and his men. Physically, his body was in top shape, but mentally he was about to fall unconscious, but he just acted as if everything was fine. He saw Sakura laying on Sasuke's body, crying. With this, the mission is about over, said Naruto quietly as he stood next to Kakashi. Yay, said Kakashi silent. He was worried about Naruto. The first kill wasn't easy, and it didn't make it any easier after you kill multiple people. Naruto thought Kakashi. It'd be better if we don't tell Sakura that I just killed them, said Naruto silently as he looked on the ground. Kakashi put his hand on Naruto's shoulder and nodded. Suddenly Naruto felt someone move behind him. He quickly looked behind him and saw his comrade stand up. Sasuke, yelled Naruto with a surprised voice but still happy. Although they hadn't been close, they still were friends, and Naruto was happy he didn't die because he was weak. He was so happy that he could cry buckets. But he couldn't. Naruto then saw all the villagers that had come to help them and saw little Inari with a crossbow. Naruto smiled. Although he had just killed so many people he could still smile. He protected these people and didn't let anyone die from his side. I will continue like this and won't let anyone ever go against the leaf. I will train to become stronger, strong enough to protect my village and my comrades from any threats, thought Naruto as he chuckled and clenched his fist. He held the fist high, telling Inari that he won while smiling. Inari also smiled at his idol. The mission was almost done. Team 7 just had to wait until Tazuna finished the bridge. Naruto had created 50 shadow clone to solely focus on the Hiruzen, but hadn't done any Taijutsu training. He wanted to be ready if anything were to happen. A week passes and the Tazuna finished building the bridge with the help of the other villager. Naruto could almost flawlessly use the Hiruzen, but it still had a 2-second delay which he didn't like. It still made traveling easier though. All the villagers had gathered to say goodbye to Team 7. Goodbye, everyone, said Naruto as he waved them goodbye. Inari looked at him holding his tears back. You can cry, you know, said Naruto while laughing. I'm not going to cry. You can cry too, Naruto, said Inari still holding his tears back. Naruto looked at him and smiled. I would if I could, thought Naruto as he kept his smile up. With a wave of his hand, Naruto used the Hiruzen to teleport Team 7 to leave. They are gone, they said all in unison. Oh, yay. We should think of a name for the bridge, said one of the villagers. Yay, the Great Naruto Bridge. That sounds good, doesn't it? Replied Tazuna. Yay, yelled everyone in unison. Team 7 teleported to Naruto's room. Wow, thought all three. Impressive, Naruto. You have improved a lot in your jutsu, praised Kakashi. Naruto looked up to see him and smiled proudly. He only needed a few more weeks and he would be flawless at using it. How is he so strong? How can he just teleport us instantly when it would have taken hours and hours of running, thought Sasuke. He had one goal in his mind and he would do anything to fulfill that goal. But first, he had to overcome a wall if he wanted to achieve that goal. And that wall was Naruto. Anyways, you guys should go and rest while I go report to Hokage-sama. Especially you, Naruto, said Kakashi, getting an okay from all the students as they head out. Naruto stayed in his room and laid on his bed. He was thinking about all those people he had killed. For the past 7 days, he could barely sleep. The moment he fell asleep, the people he killed came and haunted him. He would wake up swimming in sweat. He had to find a way to deal with it. I will kill anyone and everyone who stands in my village's way. I am a shinobi, a tool to be used by the leaf, and I will become the most fearsome and strongest shinobi there is, thought Naruto. This had somewhat helped him as he just thought he did for his village. I did it for the village, I did it for the village, I did it for the village, that's all Naruto thought. 2 months pass as Naruto trained as much as he could. They went on a few C-rank missions and they were really easy as they only had to fight bandits. He had become closer friends with Sasuke as he realized that he really related to him. Both without parents and both looked down on. Sasuke as the last surviving Uchiha and Naruto as the Kyuubi. They did some casual conversations and sometimes even trained together. That was when Sasuke realized he had to train even harder because Naruto was on another level. During the 2 months, Naruto had mostly focused on the Hiruzen and increasing his own speed and strength. After the first month, Naruto learned how to flawlessly use the Hiruzen, but he wanted to go further. He wanted to use his red lightning mode to increase his speed even more. He improved the lighting mode also, but it was still nothing compared to what the Raikage used. While training with the lightning mode and with the Hiruzen, Naruto had come up with a great idea. Infusing the technique formula with lightning chakra, and when he teleported to that mark, then the enemy would get hit by lightning chakra. This would help Naruto react even faster and do more damage. On his free days, he did extreme taijutsu training while increasing the weights to insane amounts. Naruto had focused on his training so much that he had forgotten about his rival, Konohamaru. He was walking in the village with Team 7 after finishing another mission. Sasuke had walked off and Kakashi was gone to report to the Hokage. Naruto was about to go away when he sensed Konohamaru behind him. Oh, Konohamaru, said Naruto excitedly. Naruto looked down to see a square rock infused. Konohamaru lifts the cardboard, which was made to look like a rock, up and says, as expected from my rival. Behind him were a body and a girl the same age as him. Konohamaru wore gray shorts and a yellow shirt with a red Konoha symbol printed on it. Yuden, which was on Konohamaru's right side, had short brown hair and dark eyes. Naruto noticed that the drip of snot always hung from his nose, but Yuden never bothered wiping. He also wore circular glasses. He wore a simple blue shirt which zipped up the middle, a pair of brown pants, sandals. On Konohamaru's left side was Mogi. She had her orange hair tied up with red elastics into two very large pigtails. She also had a perpetual blush. She wore a red tank top over a pink t-shirt layered at the bottom, her pants were gray and she wore the traditional ninja sandals. Naruto had met them a few times before and had played ninja with them sometimes. Although he really didn't like the game, he saw that they liked it, so he went on with it. "Hey, you guys," said Naruto. "You really are the best, leader." "You noticed us so quickly," said Konohamaru while the other two nodded. Naruto smiled a little. He didn't mind getting called leader. "Thank you," he replied. Konohamaru was about to say something, but then noticed a girl behind him. "Nin, leader. Is she your?" said Konohamaru while smirking. Naruto looked behind him and noticed what he meant. "Sakura. Not really, she is just my well teammate I guess," replied Naruto again. Konohamaru looked at him and then looked at her and said, "Well, she does have an abnormally huge forehead, I can see why you wouldn't date her." He laughed a little when he said that. You should run," said Naruto as he laughed a little. Konohamaru looked at him confused as to what he meant, but then he looked behind and saw the furious pink-haired girl about to punch the hell out of him. He ran away as fast as he could. Running for his life. As he looked behind to see if she was catching up, he bumped into someone. "That hurt," said the guy Konohamaru bumped into. He wore a black baggy full bodysuit with a red and yellow circle on the front. He also wore a black hood that covered his head completely and had cat-like ears and his forehead protector on his forehead, and the symbol on it was that of the Sand Village. He also wore purple face paint. He then continued to pick Konohamaru up. Naruto sensed that something was wrong with Konohamaru, so he shunshined to the place, and the moment he arrived he heard the guy yell to Konohamaru, "That hurt you little piece of shit." "Sand Genin. Is it that time already?" From the looks of it, Konohamaru bumped into him, thought Naruto. We'll get yelled at later," said a blonde girl behind him. She had teal eyes and sandy blonde hair, which was gathered into 4 consecutive pigtails. She wore a single light purple-colored off-the-shoulders garment that extended to halfway down her thighs, with a scarlet sash tied around her waist. In addition to incorporating fishnet worn over her shoulders and legs, specifically on her right calf and her left thigh, she also wore her black forehead protector around her neck. Who are these guys?" thought Sakura as she was right behind Konohamaru. "You should let him go," said Naruto in a somewhat annoyed face. "Belief Genin," thought the guy still holding Konohamaru in the air. "Or what?" he taunted. "That kid is Konohamaru and he is my rival. Let him go or else," said Naruto as he performed a quick shunshin behind the guy and holding the 3-bladed kunai to his neck. "You'll regret it." "So cool," thought Konohamaru with his eyes wide open seeing his rival's amazing speed. The female Sand Genin behind him was shocked, so she quickly went to grab her gigantic fan behind her back, but suddenly she felt her hands being grabbed together behind her back. "Don't rush," said Naruto in a quieter voice. "What is this speed?" "Shadow clones too," she thought as she surrendered. The male Sand Genin stood still as he still felt the cold kunai on his neck. He was surprised and shocked to see a Leaf Genin to be able to perform this level of speed. "Now, let him go slowly," ordered Naruto. He did as Naruto said. He couldn't do anything else as he knew if he did anything wrong, he would face the consequences. "Good," said Naruto as he grabbed Konohamaru and went a few steps away. "DCH," said the Sand Genin quietly, obviously annoyed at what just happened. Looking at him again, he is really cute, especially that snow-white hair and those blue eyes reflecting the sky, thought Tamari as she blushed a little. And Kuro completely forgot why he was here and all he was thinking now was to get Naruto back. He grabbed from what Naruto had guessed a puppet covered in bandages. "Are you going to use Karasu?" asked a female Sand Genin shocked. Before he could answer, however, a voice came from the side. "Can Kuro stop it? You're an embarrassment to our village," said a red-haired boy. He had green eyes and short and spiky auburn hair. He lacked distinctive pupils or eyebrows which Naruto found funny. He had tanuki-like black rings around his eyes which Naruto found really strange. He had also carved a kanji for love on the left side of his forehead, which was noticeable because his hair was parted for it to be kept visible. He wore a black bodysuit with an open neck, t-shirt-like sleeves, and almost full-length leggings. With this, he wore a white cloth over his right shoulder and the left side of his hips. He had a wide leather band from his left shoulder to his right hip with which he carried his sand gourd and around which he wrapped his forehead protector. "So he finally shows himself," thought Naruto. "Naruto. That is the one-tailed Jinchuriki. You better not embarrass me," said Kurama in a deep voice. "I figured. Such high chakra levels from sand, it had to be him." "You sure are proud of yourself yet you try to pull a 12-year-old kid into hatred," replied Naruto. I had to try. You don't know how it's like to be sealed for so many years, said Kurama now louder than before. You're right, replied Naruto in a quieter voice. You sure like to talk now when you ignored me when I tried to talk to you, said Naruto. You better not lose to that bastard, said Kurama as he hid in the shadows again. Heh, I don't plan on losing, said Naruto. Gaara, they are the one who started it, said Kankuro, who seemed terrified just hearing Gaara's voice. Naruto also noticed that. Shut up or I'll kill you, replied Gaara. Sorry. I'm really sorry, said Kankuro while his voice was shaking. What is up with that? Thought Naruto curiously. Gaara then disappeared in a swirl of sand and appeared again near Kankuro. Let's go. We didn't come here to play, ordered Gaara. Hearing that, both of them headed on their way. Wait. Yelled Sakura, but then she felt a hand on her shoulder. She looked behind to see that it was Naruto. I know what you are going to say, just stop. I'll tell you in a little bit, whispered Naruto. What? Asked Gaara. What is your name? Asked Naruto as a sign of friendship. Huh? You mean me? Asked a female Sand Genin excitedly. Oh? Yay, sure, you seem interesting too, replied Naruto as he felt something else about her which he didn't on anyone else. Temari looked at him as she felt her heart beating faster. Temari, she replied, blushing more than she did before. Nice to meet you, my name is Naruto Uzumaki. What about you, Reed? Asked Naruto again. Gaara was a little annoyed at what he called him but stopped himself. Gaara of the desert, he answered. He just thought Temari as she was a little scared at what might happen. What about me? Asked Kankuro. Anyways, let's go guys, said Naruto. Looked at Sakura and Konohamaru. Why, you thought, Kankuro, now furious. The next day they met with their sensei, Kakashi, who was late as usual. Naruto was more excited than usual since he guessed why he was summoned and he couldn't wait. Gosh, why does he summon us and then make us wait, said Sakura, obviously annoyed. Yo, said Kakashi as he just arrived. Why are you so late, asked Sakura. You should have gotten used to it by now, replied Naruto, getting a stare by Sakura. Anyway, this may be sudden, but I nominated you guys for the Chunin exams, said Kakashi. Here are your applications. If you wish to take part in the exams you should sign them and hand them in at room 301 by 4 p.m. tomorrow, continued Kakashi as he handed them the application letters. That is all, said Kakashi as he disappeared in a swirl of leaves. Yosh. I'm going to pass this exam no matter what, thought Naruto excitedly. Oi Sasuke. You better not lose, said Naruto. Right back at you, replied Sasuke. Sakura, however, wasn't sure if she wanted to take part in this exam. During the past missions, she had seen the gap in skills and thought that she may just hold them back. Naruto sensed that too and knew these exams needed the whole team, so he had to boost her confidence. Don't worry, Sakura, you're plenty strong, said Naruto as he gave her a thumbs up. There was some truth in there. Her chakra control was really good, which allowed her to greatly increase her speed and strength. Sakura smiled at hearing that and knew that she shouldn't let her teammates down. I will do this and take the win, Shanaru, thought Sakura. The next day they went to hand in the paper. They noticed something weird. 2 leaf shinobi were blocking the way and had also put on a jinjutsu on the door to trick the exam participants. There was also a big group of genins trying to go in. This is their plan to lessen the numbers, huh? Probably best to leave them be, less competition for us, thought Naruto, but he saw that Sasuke wasn't thinking alike. Such petty tricks. I can't believe that so many fell for a simple jinjutsu, said Sasuke as he neared the 2-leaf ninja. So you noticed, said one of them. Sakura, you probably noticed it as well, said Sasuke looking at her. Hi, replied Sakura, blushing a little and also happy that her crush recognized her. Not bad, but all you did was see through it, said one of the ninjas as he rushed in to kick Sasuke. Before Sasuke could react back, Naruto jumped in to stop him. Let's not get too excited over here, said Naruto as he grabbed him from behind. The speed, he thought, impressed by the genin speed. He held his hands up indicating that he gave up. You, what is your name? Asked a genin with long black hair and featureless wide eyes. He wore a beige-colored shirt, a dull blue shirt beneath that, and mesh armor beneath that. He wore dark brown shorts, blue shinobi sandals, and wrapped bandages around his right arm, chest, and right leg. He tied his hair back in a loose ponytail tied a few inches above the end. Me? Naruto Uzumaki, replied Naruto. He then looked away, having got his answer. This is normally the part where you reply with your name, said Naruto. Looked at the genin. Niji Hyuga, replied Niji as he then walked away with his team. Hyuga, huh? First the Jinchuriki and now Hyuga, I will surely have fun in this exam, thought Naruto. Naruto, Sasuke-kun, let's go. Said Sakura as they headed out. I had him, you idiot, said Sasuke looking at Naruto. Naruto laughed a little and they headed out. Hey, you with the white hair, said a guy with shiny black hair, round eyes with prominent lower eyelashes, and very thick eyebrows. His hair was a bowl-cut style, he wore a green jumpsuit, orange leg warmers, and a red forehead protector worn as a belt. He had bandages around his forearms up to his fingers. Yay. replied Naruto looking back at the weird guy. He's the one who just got rejected by Sakura, thought Naruto. Will you fight me right here? He asked. Right now? Asked Naruto. Yes, he answered. My name is Rock Lee. I'm in the same team with Neji, continued Lee. Sure, I've been meaning to test my moves against someone the same rank, replied Naruto. Alright then, said Lee as he prepared his fighting stance. Why is it always Naruto, damn it, thought Sasuke. Naruto rushed and tried to throw a jab, but was surprised to see him dodge that. Naruto then jumped back, surprised to see him keep up with his speed. I see now. You are probably the same as the Leaf Noble Green Beast. Same outfit and probably technique. I'll try harder then, said Naruto as he increased his speed even more. Impressive, Naruto, said Lee. Preparing for Naruto was surprised to see how fast Naruto moved. Naruto now, as he went near Lee, increased his speed even more as he landed a left hook to his jaw. Lee flew a couple of meters back due to the force behind Naruto's punch. Lee was even more shocked to see Naruto move so fast. He thought he was the second strongest genin, but he was now realizing that that may not be so true. He's probably faster than me right now, thought Lee. Lee rushed Naruto with a flurry of kicks and punches, but Naruto could easily dodge and block them. Naruto then, seeing an opening, quickly did a crescent kick to his face, making Lee fly away. How is he so fast? I couldn't even follow him, thought Sasuke. Oh? You couldn't even react to that? Said Naruto, surprised. Said Lee as he recovered a little and stood up. Really impressive, Naruto, but this is far as you go, said Lee as he reached down to his legs. Lee didn't want to remove his weight so soon, but if he didn't then he would lose right now. Weights, huh? I should probably remove my own if I want to win this, thought Naruto, but was surprised to hear another unfamiliar voice. That's enough, Lee, the voice came from a talking turtle. Lee, I told you not to remove them so soon. Revealing your secret so soon, he said as he shook his head. I'm sorry, but I got so overwhelmed that I had to do it, said Lee, holding his head down. They sure are some weirdos, thought Naruto. You won't get away with an excuse like that. Are you ready to pay? Asked the turtle. Lee nodded. Then here comes your sensei, the turtle said as smoke appeared on the turtle's back, and as the smoke cleared, an older copy of Lee came out. Wow, his older clone appeared with even thicker eyebrows, thought Naruto. Lee's sensei, whose name is Guy, unexpectedly punches Lee in the face while saying, "You fool." Lee stood back up, tears pouring down. Sensei, I, stuttered Lee. That's enough, Lee, said Guy, forgiving Lee. Sensei, said Lee as he jumped in to hug his sensei. This is what youth is all about. It's alright, Lee. Youth and mistake go together, said Guy while patting Lee's shoulder. You're too nice, sensei, said Lee as even more tears poured down his eyes. You did however break my rules, and as punishment, you'll do 500 laps around the practice range, said Guy, giving Lee a thumbs up. Hi, sensei, yelled Lee, totally ready. 500 laps, huh? Thought Naruto, knowing all about torturous training. Those are Kakashi's students, and one of them pushed Lee so hard that he had to remove his weights, thought Guy, surprised. You guys are Kakashi's student, right? How is he doing? Asked Guy. You know Kakashi-sensei? Asked Sakura. Of course he does. He is said to be an equal and rival to Kakashi, said Naruto, already having known him. So you have heard of me? Asked Guy, looking at Naruto. Hi. The strongest at Taijutsu, might Guy. I do admire your techniques and use of Taijutsu, said Naruto. Naruto, however, didn't mention the dislike of his weird outfit. I laughed hearing him. With the power of youth, you'll get as strong as I am, yelled Guy, giving them a thumbs up. You guys should head out now, continued Guy. Sasuke, Sakura. You better not hold me back, said Naruto, taunting them both, although he didn't mean that. Heh, you better not hold me back, said Sasuke, smiling. He knew he wasn't as strong as Naruto yet, but he was still excited for this exam. So many strong people, thought Sasuke. Oh, so you all came. Now we can finally start the exam. Good luck and you better win, said Kakashi, smiling proudly at his students. Naruto opens the door behind Kakashi as blinding light came out of it. As he went inside, several genin from multiple villages were standing there waiting for the proctor. This is going to be fun. All kinds of strong people, thought Naruto, excited to fight all of them. Naruto and his team get in the room and see countless genin from all kinds of villages in it. Genin from the Hidden Sound, Hidden Grass, Hidden Rain, Hidden Waterfall, Hidden Leaf, and the Hidden Sand villages. Naruto was excited. He could test his powers and get promoted. The idea of getting promoted excited him. Naruto saw his old classmates and was happy to see they were doing quite well. Yo, everyone. Should have known you guys would be participating in this exam, said Naruto. Same to you, said Shikamaru, smiling. Naruto heard his teammates talk to each other, so he decided to focus on his sensing abilities to sense the others' chakra in the classroom while they talk. They all seemed to have normal chakra until it came to one Hidden Grass genin. The chakra was pure evil, and the sheer amount of it was insane for a genin. Naruto could clearly sense how evil and just how strong the genin was. If he even was a genin. Naruto noticed he was trying to mask his chakra, but Naruto could clearly see just how strong this genin was. He was so focused on her that he forgot to breathe. His hands were shaking, and his face clearly showed just how scared and disgusted Naruto was at the moment. Naruto finally came back to his senses and looked around, hearing his friends calling after him. "Naruto," yelled Shikamaru. Naruto quickly shook his head and wiping the tears that came out of his face. "Oh, sorry. I just got a really nostalgic feeling and I really don't know what happened just now," said Naruto. He was lying, but he felt like if he even said a word about her he would die. Get his throat slit and his tongue pulled out. Shikamaru and Sasuke noticed he was lying. That face clearly showed how terrified Naruto was, but why would Naruto be so scared right now? They decided to leave it for now. Thank God he didn't notice me, thought Naruto. Kurama started laughing out loud. To think such a terrified kitten would be my Jinchuriki, said Kurama, clearly taunting Naruto. Shut up. That chakra was even eviler than yours, said Naruto. Kurama, infuriated by that comment, stood up roaring. Naruto simply covered his ears due to how loud he was just now. Ups, maybe I went too far. I'm sorry, almighty Kurama, said Naruto, also laughing. That's more like it. You better not embarrass me again, said Kurama as he lied back down, trying to sleep again. I didn't. Never mind, said Naruto as he noticed someone approaching them. You guys should be quieter, said a gray-haired guy with onyx eyes and black-rimmed circular glasses. He wore a dark purple shirt with a high collar, a white undershirt, and dark purple pants with a white cloth waistband. He also wore dark purple fingerless gloves with armored plates on the back of the hand and a blue forehead protector. Naruto looked around, noticing that they were actually quite loud and gained the attention of everyone in the room. "And who are you?" asked Naruto curiously. "My name is Kabuto Yakushi. You guys caused quite the scene." "Ah, you remind me so much of how I used to be," answered Kabuto. "Oh? Not your first time here, huh?" asked Naruto again. "No, it's my 7th time here," answered Kabuto, laughing a little seeing their reactions. "Since you guys are rookies, I'll share some information with these cards," said Kabuto, holding a few strange cards. "What?" asked Sakura, confused. "Yes, these cards have information burned in them with chakra. Information worth 4 years," said Kabuto proudly as he picked a card and pouring a little chakra in it, they could see how many participants there were in this exams. Naruto wasn't as much interested in Kabuto as much as he was in the grass ninja. Less interested and more scared. "We are going to keep our distance from that girl at all costs. As much as I have confidence in my skills, I don't think I'm on that level yet," thought Naruto. He was deep in his thought as he saw Kabuto pull cards on Sasuke's requests. Cards about Lee and Gaara. "So Sasuke is also interested in those guys, huh?" "Sasuke, Sakura, I'm going on ahead and sit," said Naruto, and before he got a reaction he went on ahead. Naruto noticed a commotion behind him, but he sensed that his team was alright, so he really didn't care right now. All he was thinking was how to win the exam without going against the hidden grass genin. That genin terrified him and he hoped he didn't have to go against her. Being lost in thought, Naruto suddenly hears a loud bang and a poof of smoke appear in front of the class. This startled Naruto, having lost focus on his surroundings. "Quiet down, you bastards," came a voice from inside the smoke. As the smoke cleared out, a group of leaf ninja appeared. "Damn it. I'm focusing too much on her," thought Naruto as he slapped himself, clearing his mind. "I am Marino Ibiki, the examiner for the Chunin selection exam's first test," said Ibiki. Ibiki had a large, imposing figure, which he complemented with a rugged head and face covered with old wounds and scars. Ibiki's head was covered by a forehead protector. He wore a darker version of the standard uniform of the intelligence division, along with a black trench coat and gloves. Ibiki looked at the sound ninja that had started a fight. "You sound genin, stop doing as you please before the exam, or do you want to fail already?" said Ibiki. Ibiki, having heard them apologize, continued, "There will be no fighting without permission, and if permission for a fight is granted, then killing is not allowed. If any pig even tries to disobey me will be failed immediately." Ibiki looked around and saw that the message went through. "Very well, for the first exams, you will pick one of these tabs and sit on your assigned place. After that is done we will hand out the exam papers," stated Ibiki. Naruto wasn't worried about the first part of the exam. He was quite knowledgeable. He looked around and saw Hinata sitting next to him. "Oh hi Hinata," said Naruto, smiling a little. They were in the same class in the academy, but Naruto never talked to her, so he didn't know what she was like. Hi," replied Hinata, startled being suddenly talked to. Naruto then carefully listened to Ibiki as he explained the rules. "Basically, I need to get all my answers right and no cheating. I also have to hope that Sakura and Sasuke get at least one question right, but I think they got it. Quite a strange system, but nothing to have me worried," thought Naruto, knowing he got the first exam in the bag. After having the exam papers handed out to them, Ibiki yelled, "Begin." Naruto went through the questions to see what he was in for. "The questions are harder than I thought, but I can manage. I hope Sasuke and Sakura will manage to somehow, thought Naruto as he continued to write down the answers. A good few minutes passed by and Naruto finished his test and was now waiting for the last question to be revealed by the proctor Ibiki. Another 25 minutes pass by as Ibiki finally reveals the 10th and last question. Okay, and now I will reveal the 10th question, declared Ibiki, catching everyone's attention. First I'll explain the rules of desperation, said Ibiki as everyone looked at him confused. First, for the 10th question you must decide whether or not you take it or not, and if you choose not to you fail along with your teammates, and for the other rule, if you choose to take it and answer incorrectly, then you will lose the right to take place in the Chunin exams ever again, explained Ibiki. Most of the genin were yelling at how unfair this exam was. Quite intense, but considering the last 9 questions then this shouldn't be that hard, thought Naruto. After giving the genin enough time to think, Ibiki said, alright, those who do not wish to take it may leave now. Naruto looked behind to where Sakura and Sasuke were and smiled while giving them a thumbs up. Both of them smiled back, having confidence they will pass this. Good, now let's wait for the last question, thought Naruto. Naruto watched many genin take their leave while he and his team were confident enough for the last question. Bring it on. Alright, 60 genin left. This Chunin exam has better genin than expected, thought Ibiki. Good work to everyone still remaining. Congratulations on passing the first test, said Ibiki. Should have known. Attacking our minds like that, good thing I didn't have any doubt, since even the slightest doubt would mean failure, thought Naruto, now excited for the second test. But what about the 10th question? Asked another genin. That was the 10th question. It was to test your will and see if you would be able to take a difficult question. Since you took the 10th question it showed me your determination and how strong your will is, explained Ibiki. So what was the point of the first 9 questions? Were they all for nothing? Asked Tamari of the Sand, demanding to know. The previous 9 questions already served their purpose. It was to see your ability to gather information. The questions were too hard for a mere genin to answer, so we hid 2 Chunin who already knew the answers to help you out, answered Ibiki. What? I should have considered that possibility, but the questions weren't that hard anyway, thought Naruto, a little worried if he still passed or not. That concludes the first test of the Chunin exams. I wish you guys luck, Ibiki smiled, showing that he actually meant that, which boosted some of their confidence. Ibiki looked to his right as he noticed something. A ball of cloth came crashing in through the window, and 2 kunai came out of the cloth sticking to the ceiling, and as the cloth opened up a woman with violet hair appeared. She had light brown pupil-less eyes. Her violet hair was styled in a short, spiky, hand-out ponytail. She wore a fitted mesh bodysuit that covers her from neck to thigh. Over this, she wore a tan overcoat with a purple inseam and a pocket on each side, a dark orange miniskirt, a dark blue belt, and pale gray shin guards, and her forehead protector covered her forehead. On the cloth wrote Second Exam Proctor, Anko Mitarashi. You guys. Not the time to be celebrating. I am the exam proctor for the second test, Anko Mitarashi. Now let's go. Follow me. Yelled Anko. Ibiki came out from behind the cloth and said, bad timing, as Anko blushed in embarrassment. 60 genin passed. The test must have been pretty easy, said Anko as she laughed a little while looking at Ibiki. No worries though, I will cut that number in half, she continued. In half, huh? Let's hope that grass genin is one of them, thought Naruto. I'll explain everything once we've changed places. Now follow me, she ordered. Once they arrived, what stood before them was a forest. Welcome to the forest of death. Don't worry though, you'll soon find out why it's called that way, said Anko, smiling and licking her lips as chills went down their spines. This is exciting, if only that grass genin wasn't here, thought Naruto. Hey Sasuke, whispered Naruto secretly. What? Asked Sasuke. Listen carefully. No matter what, and I mean no matter what, we will avoid the grass genin at all cost, said Naruto with a terrified voice. He couldn't help it, just talking about her gave him the chills. Sasuke noticed that. Is that why you look so terrified as we came in the room? Asked Sasuke, again curious. Hi. Just know that she is way out of our league, so don't even try to engage with her, said Naruto again. Fine, as long as I win then I don't care, said Sasuke, now trying to listen to what Anko is saying. First, I will hand you guys these papers. They are agreement papers which you have to sign, said Anko, handing out the paper to every genin. What? Asked Sakura, a little scared. Well, there will be death in this one, so if you don't sign it, it will be my responsibility, explained Anko, smiling. Naruto closed his eyes and focused on his senses. He could sense everyone and everything. He sensed the shinobi around him and especially the grass genin. He sensed the animals in the forest and the insects flying around. Good Naruto. Focus more, hear everything, smell everything, sense everything. Listen to the human proctor explaining the rules, listen to the shinobi behind you talking. Expand your senses further and further, instructed Kurama. Naruto was amazed by how he felt. It felt like he could see everything around him even though his eyes are closed. Every time he focused on his sensing abilities they improved every time. It was as if he had infinite potential when it came to sensing abilities. "Sasuke, what is wrong with Naruto?" asked Sakura confused. She noticed Naruto just standing there with his eyes closed. Sasuke looked at him and guessed what he was doing, so he said nothing. "This is a surviving battle. There are 20 teams here, so 10 teams get the Earth Scroll and the other 10 teams get the Heaven Scroll. The only rule is you need to have both Earth and Heaven Scrolls when you get to the tower, which is in the middle of the forest. The tower is 10 kilometers away from the gates. This test lasts exactly 5 days," explained Anko. "I see, so the number of participants is definitely getting cut in half if not lower. This is good, the area is big, which means plenty of space to escape her," thought Naruto. 5 days, what about food?" yelled Choji, who only thought about food and rarely anything else. "Plenty of food in the forest, but just be careful of man-eating beasts, poisonous insects, and plants," answered Anko. "Now let's talk about what will disqualify you. First, those who don't get to the tower with both scrolls before the time limit. Second, those who lost a teammate or have a teammate killed. In addition to that rule, there is no quitting in the middle of the test. And lastly, third, those who look inside the scroll," explained Anko. "Now sign the agreements and hand them in the booth where you will also be given your scroll. There will definitely be death since they are making us sign these forms, but I have a plan which should work quite well," thought Naruto. After everyone got their scrolls and went to their gates, the exams started. As soon as the gate started, Naruto immediately made a few dozen of shadow clones, and with a nod, they all disappeared. "What was that for? Are you trying to reveal our locations, you idiot?" yelled out Sakura with the loudest voice Naruto had ever heard. "They probably know where we are just from that scream anyways. If we find any team, we attack and kill them. If it's a grass ninja, you immediately run to me," said Naruto as he looked at Sakura and continued with a more serious voice. "Do you understand?" Sakura got the chills as she instinctively nodded. "Good. Now we head out," said Naruto as they started jumping on trees following Naruto. "Who made you the leader?" said Sasuke. Naruto looked at him once and then answered, "I was sensing abilities that far surpass yours. I already made a plan, which it doesn't seem you did, but if you do have a better plan, then speak up. Don't take it against yourself, but for now, just listen to me." Sasuke didn't like the answer, but he knew it was true. He made a pretty good plan while still terrified by the grass ninja. While on the previous mission, Sasuke had come to understand Naruto as someone better than him and as a wall he must overcome. Sasuke nodded and continued following Naruto. Naruto sensed the teams with the lowest chakra, so they could easily defeat and take their scrolls. Naruto stopped in his tracks and looked at the two. Naruto then opens his hand, showing his palm as if he was holding something, and then suddenly something appears on his hand. An earth scroll, just the one they needed. What? How?" asked Sasuke, surprised. Sakura was also equally surprised and curious. "Heh," said Naruto as he grabbed the bush away, allowing both Sakura and Sasuke to see. It was another Naruto standing on 3 Leaf Genin's unconscious bodies. One of them had short, unkempt dark hair held back by his forehead protector, as well as 2 green lines running from each end of his eyes towards his ears. He wore a grey high-collared jacket suit along with a pair of grey pants. The older one had spiky sandy brown hair and very thick sideburns. He wore a black jumpsuit with a zipper running down the middle and a light-colored collar. He also wore a leaf forehead protector and his shuriken holster strapped to his right leg. And the last one had short black hair and wears his forehead protector around his neck, covering his chin. He also wore a high-collared shirt that was half black and half grey, along with a pair of grey pants. "This one is Team Shibire. My clone was following them and he noticed that they had the scroll we needed. He caught them off guard and voila," said Naruto, holding both of the scrolls up. They aren't dead, right?" stuttered Sakura. "I would never kill our own shinobi. They are unconscious, although leaving their body here would also mean that they would die anyway by some beast," answered Naruto, holding his thinking. Suddenly Naruto felt a powerful wave of chakra and then are hit with a powerful gust of wind. After that Naruto felt something huge coming their way. "Sasuke, Sakura," yelled Naruto, catching their attention as they ran to him. The one yelling was Naruto's clone, who had then teleported Sakura, Sasuke, and the unconscious team far away from them. Naruto stayed there holding his guard as he saw the huge monster coming his way. "What? A snake?" "Naruto, you are a clone, aren't you?" asked Sasuke. "Hi. Boss stayed to see the enemy's power," said the clone as he still kept his guard up. "What? But you said that she's way out of our league. What if you get killed?" replied Sasuke. Even if he didn't admit it, Sasuke still cared about Naruto. They had a couple of spars and Naruto was kind enough to point out his weaknesses. Sasuke knew he was getting stronger because of Naruto, and with his help, he would be one step closer to his goal. "You underestimate boss too much, Sasuke," said the clone, smirking. "Gotta take care of this snake quickly," said Naruto as he threw a dozen of his kunai at the snake. As soon as the kunai hit, Naruto teleported to all of them and then back to his original place in just a matter of seconds. Naruto then turned away from the snake as it exploded into bits, leaving very few traces of it left. Naruto then looked at the bush to where the enemy was trying to hide. My. Quite the excellent use of explosive tags. Great sensing abilities and mastered the Hiruzen, something even I haven't managed to do. Very impressive but sadly not the one I'm looking for, she said as showed her stupidly long tongue. Oh, you are looking for someone. You attacked us, so it means you are looking for someone in my team. Since it isn't me, then it has to be either Sakura or Sasuke. I can't see how you would need Sakura, but Sasuke is an Uchiha and he has already awakened the Sharingan, but what are you planning to do with him? Asked Naruto as he held his chin trying to think of several possibilities she would need Sasuke for. A few had already come to mind, but he waited for her to answer. Impressive. You've got the brains too, but unfortunately, I've got no use for the demon kid, she said as she got ready to fight. She was more shocked on the inside to see a 12-year-old kid figure out her target. Naruto didn't like that comment, but he still was ready to fight. He knew better than to let his guard down around her. Although it didn't look like it, Naruto was still terrified, but he did a good job at hiding it. As a shinobi, one must show no emotions in battle. Naruto holding two kunai readied for her to rush at him. She fought in a strange way. She fought like a literal snake, which he found disgusting. He hated snakes. They went into a taijutsu battle. Trading blow for blow. To an outsider, it would look like they are equal, but Naruto knew better. He knew she was just testing him. Naruto had trained on his chakra control so he could enhance his fighting power and speed. His punches were faster, did more damage than he ever could, but he still couldn't land a direct hit. Naruto jumped back and made a few clones to help him. Naruto threw a few shuriken in her direction, to which she easily dodged. As expected, thought Naruto. Naruto then teleported to one of the shuriken and shouted, "Wind style." Vacuum Great Sphere. A large sphere of compressed wind chakra came out of Naruto's mouth as it seemingly hit the grass. Genin. Got her. Thought Naruto. Her body although turned to mud, which Naruto noticed that she must have substituted. Naruto and two of his clones, using the lightning mode, started rushing her and attacking her with a barrage of fists. She had gotten caught off guard and had gotten hit multiple times with chakra-enhanced fists. That did more damage than it should have, she thought. That's not it, thought Naruto as she teleported to her and did a quick roundhouse kick. She flew a couple of meters away and then exploded. "You and your goddamn explosive tags," she yelled as she stood up from the explosion. Naruto looked at her as he thought he had done damage, but then noticed something terrifying. Her face had changed and so had the headband. That's the hidden sound, thought Naruto as he came to the realization. He did way more damage than a genin should do, she thought. "Why you are Orochimaru," said Naruto, stuttering. Now everything came to light. The terrifying power and why he wanted Sasuke. "You know of me, child," said Orochimaru as he laughed. "You bastard of a betrayer," yelled Naruto. "I'm sorry, Kurama, for using this without permission," said Naruto as he started to change. The red chakra of Kurama started circling around him. His hair grew longer and spikier, and the whiskers on his cheeks widened and thickened. His nails and canine teeth grew longer and sharper. His eyes changed to that of Kurama's as Naruto gave a loud roar. Kurama looked down at Naruto, confused. Why would a human apologize to him? Why would a human ask a beast's name? Why would a human even be nice to a beast? All of these confused Kurama, so he decided to say nothing. "Oh, so you can use the demon's powers?" said Orochimaru, surprised. Naruto suddenly sped up to Orochimaru with so much speed that was unnormal for a genin. Naruto did a quick barrage of fists, smashing his face in, and jumped back. Instantly after, a clone of Naruto came from under Orochimaru with a deadly uppercut, and while in the air the clone did a quick double jab. Not leaving any room to breathe, Naruto jumped him with a crescent kick, sending Orochimaru flying. As the smoke cleared out, Orochimaru stood up, a bruise on his face, but it was clearly healing. "You actually managed to bruise me, but this has taken long enough. This was fun, but I'm heading out for now," said Orochimaru as he left without a trace. "Damn it, that bastard. Why is he so strong?" thought Naruto. Naruto then teleported to where Sakura and Sasuke were and dropped down exhausted. "Naruto," said both Sakura and Sasuke. "Hi. The opponent was stronger than I imagined, and I still hadn't managed to take him down," said Naruto, looking away in shame. "What? Who is she?" asked Sasuke curiously. "Orochimaru. One of the Sannin. He was lower third student who turned rogue, and even with full power I couldn't do anything against him," said Naruto as he clenched his fist. He hated feeling so powerless. "Where is he now?" asked Sasuke, again trying to grasp the situation. "The exam proctor is in the forest, which means that they know of Orochimaru, which also means that the Anbu are probably involved. We shouldn't have to worry about him for now." "Grab on," ordered Naruto, now which both of them listened to him. "Alright, we got both scrolls, so now we just have to get to the tower. But there might be genin waiting there and planning their attack, so we must be careful," analyzed Sakura. "That would be the case if you didn't have me. Now grab on my shoulders," said Naruto as he smirked. As soon as their hands touched his shoulders they teleported inside the tower. "You marked the inside of the tower too?" asked Sasuke, also shocked. "Of course. My shadow clones marked the entire forest so I could teleport anywhere I need to," explained Naruto as he smiled. Both Sasuke and Sakura were shocked. If it weren't for Naruto then they weren't even sure if they would even pass. Upon entering the tower they saw a riddle. If you do not possess heaven, gain knowledge and be prepared. If you do not possess earth, run through the fields in search of an advantage. Open the series of heaven and earth and the perilous way shall be redressed. This is namely the secret of the one that guides. It's telling us to open the scrolls, said Naruto after a little moment of thinking. The other two nodded so they agreed to open the scrolls. Naruto opened the Heave scroll, while Sakura opened the Earth scroll. Sakura was worried if it was a trap or not, but Naruto was sure that they had to open that. The moment they opened the scroll Naruto instantly recognized the contents of the scroll. "Sakura, it's a summoning seal. Drop it," yelled Naruto as they both dropped the scrolls. Smoke appeared on the scrolls and as it cleared out, Iruka appeared. "Long time no see," said Iruka smiling as he waved at them. Iruka was proud of them. They completed the test in hours, which was a surprise for fresh genin to do. This Chunin exam is filled with promising shinobi, thought Iruka. In reality, Naruto had done the most fighting, but he didn't mind. Although annoying, Naruto still liked his team. "Yo Iruka-sensei, you all have come a long way," said Iruka holding his tears back. Thanks. Now I'm guessing we'll have to wait until the second test is over," said Naruto rubbing his nose. "Hi. Until the test is over you'll have to rest in your room. You aren't allowed to meet your sensei or anyone else for that matter," explained Iruka, and after getting a nod from the three Iruka shows them to their room. In their room, Sakura was curious about something, so he decided to ask Naruto. "Naruto, why didn't you tell Iruka-sensei about Orochimaru?" "Oh? They probably already know about it seeing as a jounin already met him. This isn't something a genin should worry about anyway, so get some rest," said Naruto as he went to his own room. He wanted to use the next days to train on his chakra control. Improving it even more would prove useful. Meditating had become one of his favorite things to do. Everything was quiet and he could literally feel everything around him. He could sense the chakra of everyone near him, but he could also sense something new. Strange chakra he had never felt before and he wasn't even sure if it was chakra. The moment he opened his eyes he couldn't feel it anymore. It was strange and he couldn't understand it at all. Every time he meditated his chakra control improved, but right now his mind was focused on something else. In his fight with one of the Sannin. He couldn't fight against him even after he used Kurama's chakra. The Sannin Jiraiya, Orochimaru and Tsunade. The title was given by Hanzo after the three had fought against him, even after all the other Konoha shinobi and perished. Orochimaru betrayed the leaf, and Tsunade had run away. Jiraiya is the only legendary shinobi of the three, having stayed loyal to the village until now. "I have to become stronger so that traitors like these can't get away so easily, but how? How can I get as strong as someone like Orochimaru?" thought Naruto. Naruto now only thought about getting stronger power, some would even say he would even kill someone close to him for power, but Naruto would never. He only wanted power to protect people close to him and the leaf, and he would sacrifice himself to do that. He then thought about Hashirama, the first Hokage also named the god of shinobi, the strongest shinobi of all times. He had wood release, one of the strongest Kekkei Genkais in the world, and people would kill just to get a piece of that DNA because of the power it could give one. Naruto had gotten an idea of how he could get strong, but he didn't know if it would even work. He had almost no idea about how the human body worked. For now, however, he scratched that idea and continued working on his chakra control. The 4 days passed pretty quickly. Naruto spent most of his time improving his chakra control, so he tried to avoid meeting other people as it would interrupt his training. After the second test of the exam was officially over, all the participants that had passed were in the arena with all the Jounin and the Hokage before them. 21 genin had passed out of the 60 genin. Maybe I should have stayed longer and taken care of the others, thought Naruto. Congratulations everyone for passing the second test of the exam. You have proven yourself to have the determination and will to become genin. But that may not be enough no matter how strong it is. It's time I showed you the purpose of the Chunin exams, spoke the third Hokage as he looked on the genin. In reality, the Chunin exams are replacement for war among the allied countries. In the past, the current allies were enemies who fought each other. So in order to fight the pointless fighting, the countries chose a mutual place for battle. That is the origin of the Chunin exams. Other nations, potential clients will be watching the battles, continued the third Hokage. I see. So basically it's to show our strength to the other hidden villages. Makes sense if you want to avoid wars, thought Naruto. After clearing the confusion amongst the genin, Hiruzen wanted to continue the exams but was interrupted by a proctor. "Please allow me, Hokage-sama." "Hey Echo, the referee of the matches," said Hey. "Very well," responded Hiruzen. Hello everyone, I am Hade. Since there are too many genin that passed the first and second test, there will be a preliminary before you take the third test, explained Hade coughing. A lot of the genin started complaining. Hade sighed. As the Hokage-sama explained earlier, there will be many guests at the third test, and with this many genin, it would take too long. Now since the preliminary starts immediately, please come forward if you're not feeling well or are unable to fight, continued Hade as he started coughing again. With 4 days to rest I have had enough time to rest, thought Naruto smiling. He was ready to win this exam. I'm going to quit, said Kabuto as he raised his hand. That's the guy from the first test. He must have gotten quite into a battle considering how he looks right now, thought Naruto. Ikushi Kabuto from the leaf, right? You may leave now. I also forgot to mention that from now on it will be individual battling, so you may raise your hand based on your own judgment, explained Hade again. This guy, he keeps coughing, so he must be sick. Leaving such information out, thought Naruto as he barely held his laugh back. He didn't know why, but he found it quite funny, although not the ideal jounen. Kabuto, huh? He failed the Chunin exam 6 times straight, thought Hiruzen. Naruto, I am going to defeat every other genin here, and after I'm done with them I will defeat you, declared Sasuke as he held out his fist. Heh, replied Naruto as they fist bumped. Very well then, we will now begin the preliminary exams. This will be a one-on-one battle. There are basically no rules. You fight until your opponent is dead, knocked out, or has given up. The screen above me will show the matchup for each battle. The first battle is, said Hade as the screen went through the names of the participants until it stopped. Uchiha Sasuke vs Yoroi Akato. Everyone but these two please step out, ordered Hade, and as the other genin went out of the way, he continued, ready. Go, announced Hade after getting a nod from the two. Boring. I'll go and meditate on another room until it's my turn, thought Naruto. Naruto sneaked away, avoiding the other people's attention. He had an idea what the other people were capable of, and he knew that no one could pose a threat to him right now except Gaara. With his enhanced hearing he knew who would be fighting next, and with his sensing abilities, it was like he was there. Naruto knew what Sasuke was capable of already, but he was curious about the opponent. The fight started with Sasuke just testing the opponent's powers. In seconds everyone realized that Sasuke had far superior speed and power. After Sasuke figured out that the opponent's ability was to steal chakra, he quickly ended the match. This is nothing, said Sasuke smiling. Arrogant bastard, thought Naruto, who was also smiling. Next match, Aburame Shino vs Abumi Zaku. Start, said Hade. So be boring, thought Naruto as he was struggling to keep his eyes open. But no matter how hard he tried, it was all to no avail. He fell asleep. He was in the room alone so no one could wake him up. The 6th match had just finished, and Hade had just announced the 7th match. Uzumaki Naruto vs Izunuka Kiba. Kiba was already in the arena, but Naruto was nowhere to be seen. Kiba started laughing, ha 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 ha, I should have known you would have chickened out, Naruto. That's right, where is he? I haven't seen him in a while, thought Sakura. And then suddenly Naruto appears, rubbing his eyes. He had just woken up and thankfully he had already marked the arena before. You talk too loud. So you are my opponent, huh? Just so you know I won't go easy on you, Kiba, said Naruto, still sleepy. He was sleeping until he heard Kiba scream his name. You never won against me in the academy, Naruto, said Kiba laughing. That's cause I never tried, fool, thought Naruto smiling. He then looked at Hade, signaling that he is ready. The fight was over in a flash. No jutsus were used. Naruto enhanced his speed with his chakra, not allowing Kiba to move even an inch. Hade had announced the match to start, and in just that 1 second Kiba felt the cold feeling of metal on his neck. The speed. I couldn't even follow him with my eyes, thought Kiba, shocked. There was nothing he could do. I give up, said Kiba, holding his hand up. The audience was also shocked. Almost no one could even follow him with his eyes. You have grown, Naruto, thought Kakashi proudly. Even Lee knew he couldn't have reacted to that. That speed was way faster than at the time they had fought. Sasuke had his Sharingan activated, but even with it on, he barely followed him. Damn it. Why am I so weak? I must get stronger no matter what, thought Sasuke. Naruto looked up at the audience, holding his hand high up. My name is Uzumaki Naruto, and I will be the one who will defeat every genin in this exam, declared Naruto as he heard roars coming from the audience. No one could believe at the claim the demon boy just made, but they knew that the Hyuga, the Uchiha, could take him down. Naruto smiled as he walked away from the arena. He heard the audience booing him at the claim he made and held his laugh back when heard them yell how he would lose to Sasuke, that Hyuga. Naruto, however, wasn't interested in that at the moment. He won the preliminaries, so now and they would probably get some time until the last test of the Chunin exams. Neji Hyuga is said to be a prodigy and comes from the mighty Hyuga clan. They are excellent at Taijutsu due to their Taijutsu, the Byakugan. The ability to close your enemy's chakra points would be a problem for other people, but not for me. I am probably far superior when it comes to speed too, and I got this too, thought Naruto as he held his kunai and smiled. The only problem would be Gaara. If he is able to control Shukaku then it would be a problem, but with this technique that I'm working on, then it should go fine. The fourth Hokage really was something. Naruto then quickly made a shadow clone and left the arena to train. Well then first I have to take a bath and relax. It's been a while since I've had the chance to relax, thought Naruto as he headed out to a public bath. But the clone sat down on where his team was and closed his eyes. He had to be in the arena, which is why he had to make a clone, but he didn't want to know how his opponent fought since it took the fun off it. He knew it wasn't smart, but he was boiling for a good fight after what had happened with Orochimaru. What's the deal with Naruto? Asked Sakura. Sasuke looked behind him to see Naruto leaning on the wall sleeping. No idea. Hey idiot, what are you doing? Naruto opened his right eye to see who he was talking to. Trying to sleep, just wake me up when it's all over, replied Naruto, closing his eyes again. The clone then turned off all his senses so he couldn't sense or hear what was happening. Sasuke ignored him and looked back at the arena. Two Hyugas, thought Sasuke. Naruto. Hey Naruto, yelled Sasuke, trying to wake him up but getting no reacting. Sasuke sighed as he raised his fist about to punch him. Sasuke's fist was 1 inch away from Naruto's face and Sasuke felt his fist hit, but Naruto had disappeared. What? Said Sasuke to himself. He then looked at Naruto's face behind him, but there wasn't even a scratch there. Umbus, why are you trying to punch me? Said the clone, pissed off. I did hit him, right? Thought Sasuke, confused. You told me to wake up, idiot. All the matches are over. Finally, thought the clone. It looked at Sasuke and then said, alright, let's go. Naruto looked down at the arena and noticed that great battles had happened at this place. Now he didn't know if it was such a good idea to have missed all that. All the genin that had passed stood before the third Hokage. Sasuke, Neji, Gaara, Temari, Shino, Shikamaru, the sand guy, and the sound guy, huh? Interesting, thought the clone. Congratulations to everyone who has passed. As I've told you before, the finals will be seen by everybody, so I would like you to show all of your powers. No holding back. This is why the finals will be held a month from now, explained the third Hokage. I knew it. No one outside of the shinobi was spectating, which would mean the main event would be held another time. Since they want us in our best shape, they would have us prepare. Boss guessed right, thought the clone. During the month you will prepare to fight with the data you have collected until now, continued the third Hokage. Naruto looked down in silence. Idiot, said Sasuke. Now then, there is one last thing you need to do before you head out, said the third Hokage as he looked at Enko. Take one piece of paper out of the box that Enko is holding. Everyone formed a line and took a piece of paper. Good, now please tell us the number that you got. Everyone saying their number in order. Ibiki had a paper on his hand and was writing on it. After he was done writing, he showed the paper to everyone else. So a tournament, huh, thought the clone. The Hyuga prodigy, huh? Defeating him would definitely show everyone how strong I am, thought the clone, smiling. Sasuke. Good luck on the monster, said the clone, laughing. Hokage-sama, are we allowed to go? Hi. You are all dismissed, he answered. You got the Hyuga too. You better win so I can defeat you, said Sasuke, full of pride. The clone smiled, and as he raised his hand a little, he did the peace sign and said, adios, and poofed. He was a clone all along. That bastard, said Sasuke as he rushed off. He had to find Kakashi and get him to train him. Naruto was just getting out of the bath. He had stayed there longer than he wanted. As he got out, he regained the memories of the clone. Neji, huh? Time to get to work then. I wonder if I can find Tenzo-sensei. I haven't seen him since then. Probably not though, thought Naruto. Naruto then looked to his left as he saw an old man peeping at the women's side of the bath. An old pervert, huh? I should stop him, thought Naruto. Hey, you. You show, yelled Naruto until he saw the old man turn around. Toad Sage Jiraiya. Said Naruto as he barely held his scream back. Naruto fell on his butt at the sight of Jiraiya. So you have heard of me, said Jiraiya. Jiraiya had waist-length spiky white hair which was tied back into a ponytail, with 2 shoulder-length bangs framing his face. There were red lines under his eyes going all the way to the bottom of his face. He wore a green short shirt, kimono and matching pants, under which he wore mesh armor that was visible at his wrists and ankles. He also wore red haori with 2 yellow circles on each side. He had a large scroll on his back and he wore a horned forehead protector with the kanji for oil. No doubt about it. That was Jiraiya before Naruto right now. Jiraiya also seemed to have liked the fact that Naruto already knew him and how Naruto reacted before him. Of course I've heard of you. I can't believe I got to meet you, said Naruto, now holding his tears back in excitement, but the excitement disappeared when he remembered something. Oh, right, I forgot. I have to train, said Naruto as he got a brilliant idea. Jiraiya-sama, would you please train me, Uzumaki Naruto? Oh, you want me to train you, huh? Hi, please. I'd like to test your abilities first then. After that, I'll decide if I'll train you, said Jiraiya as he started walking away. Follow me. I can't believe I get to spar with one of the legendary Sannin, thought Naruto. "A foolish brat," said Kurama. Naruto ignored his comment. "Alright then, this seems good enough," said Jiraiya as he stopped on flat land. "Ready when you are, Yosh," said Naruto again as he removed his weights. "Kurama, may I use your chakra, please? I want to impress him," said Naruto. "Fine," answered Kurama. "Go wild." Naruto smiled. Said Naruto. A dense shroud of chakra formed around Naruto. Naruto features changed to that of Kurama and a tail formed out of the red chakra appeared behind him swinging. Naruto was now on all fours. Jiraiya knew what Naruto was doing and was impressed to see him already have access to its chakra. "This isn't all," said Naruto. "Oh?" Suddenly dark red lightning surrounded Naruto and was mixing with Kurama's chakra. "It's quite hard to do but with practice I've gotten the hand of this," thought Naruto. "Impressive, Naruto," said Jiraiya somewhat loud. Naruto suddenly appeared before Jiraiya with his fist encased in rock and tried to punch him, but Jiraiya had quick reflexes and quickly blocked, but it still surprisingly hurt him a little. Naruto then grabbed Jiraiya's hand and quickly tried to kick him, but he was countered with a hard punch to the gut, which made him fly away a couple of meters away. Smoke surrounded the area when Naruto landed. Naruto went through quick hand signs, and a huge ball of wind appeared before him as it went in Jiraiya's direction. Jiraiya noticed this and quickly created an earth-style wall. Jiraiya smiled as he thought that was all but was surprised to see Naruto suddenly appear before him. Naruto focused his chakra on his fist and hit Jiraiya straight on the face, sending him flying. While on the air, Naruto teleported to Jiraiya and did a quick spin and kicked Jiraiya on the gut. Jiraiya hit the ground creating a huge crater on contact. As the smoke cleared out, Jiraiya stood up with a couple of bruised on him, although nothing serious. "Is that all?" asked Jiraiya. This annoyed Naruto as he teleported to Jiraiya again, but now not holding back. Jiraiya expected Naruto to teleport to him, and as he was about to react, he felt a shock coming from his hand, where Naruto had marked him and couldn't move anymore. "Heh," smiled Naruto as he quickly did a barrage of chakra-enhanced fists on his gut and finishing it with a kick to the head. Jiraiya was sent flying as he hit a couple of trees. "This is my all," said Naruto smiling. Jiraiya stood up and coughed a little bit of blood. He did more damage than Jiraiya thought he would be able to do. He didn't expect Naruto to mix lightning chakra with the Hirashin's mark. And those punches hit hard. Not only was he strong enough alone, but he also had a boost from the Kyuubi, the lightning mode plus his own chakra. Jiraiya smiled as he wiped off the blood. "I'm going to make a monster out of you." Naruto looked at him and smiled. He turned off his modes and fell to his knees, catching his breath. Mixing those two modes was more taxing than he thought, but the boost paid off. "Yosh. Training with a Sannin, how exciting," said Naruto. "So what are we training on?" asked Naruto, still excited. "Do you know about the summoning jutsu?" asked Jiraiya. "Am I going to learn how to summon toads like you?" "Of course, I know about it," answered Naruto. "Hi kid, that's a little too much energy." Jiraiya then started opening the scroll that he was carrying on his back. "Alright, this is where you'll sign a contract with the toads. You write your name and blood and under that you press your fingerprint. After that, you should be able to summon them. I'm guessing you already know the hand signs." "Hi. Boar, dog, bird, monkey, and ship," said Naruto as he prepared to use the jutsu. He went through the hand signs and pushed in a huge amount of chakra in it. The next moment Naruto looked under his feet to see what he had guessed to be the head of a toad. "I did it," yelled Naruto out loud. "First try he summoned Gamabunta too. I can't even control that one, so I'm heading out," said Jiraiya to himself as he shunshined away. Why can't I sense him anymore? Where did Jiraiya-sensei go?" thought Naruto. "You little punk. What are you doing up there? And where is Jiraiya? Why did he summon in this place?" screamed the toad. I summoned you and I really don't know where Jiraiya went," answered Naruto. "You? Summon me? Ha 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 ha, good joke kid," he laughed. Naruto stared him down. He already didn't like this toad. This kitty has the same eyes as Gamabunta thought. He looked down and saw the contract scroll that Jiraiya had on the ground and it saw Naruto's name there. Impressive, so he did actually summon me. He doesn't even look tired even after summoning me. "You got a good one, Jiraiya." "Hey, brat," called Gamabunta. "What?" replied Naruto, still annoyed by him. "How about you prove to me that you're my summoner?" asked Gamabunta, catching Naruto's attention. "Oh? How do I do that?" replied Naruto, not a little excited. "To prove that you are worthy of being my summoner you have to stay on my head for the day." "That's it?" said Naruto, confused by the easy challenge. That's it? Who does he think he is?" thought Gamabunta. "You brat, I won't go easy on you," he yelled. Naruto then just sat on his head and focused his chakra a little as Gamabunta jumped around the forest. After a few hours, Naruto was getting hungry, so he made a clone to get him some food. The clone disappeared and reappeared, which Gamabunta recognized as the Hirashin. His previous summoner used it too after all. Kid, you can use it too. Asked Gamabunta as he stopped jumping. What? The Hiruzen? Asked Naruto. Gamabunta nodded. Ah, I learned it recently, he said as he chuckled a little. Heh, you have earned my respect, replied Gamabunta impressed. Just like the fourth, he thought. Very well. I recognized you as my summoner. Yosh! Screamed Naruto holding his fist high up. But that Gamabunta disappeared and as soon as he did Jiraiya reappeared again. I have to say, I am impressed kid, said Jiraiya. Thank you, Jiraiya-sensei. Great chakra control and from what I've seen he's got a good taijutsu style as well thought Jiraiya. Hey, kid. How do you feel about learning a jutsu? Jutsu? No way yes please. Yelled Naruto with his eyes shining brighter than the stars. Jiraiya started laughing. He liked Naruto. Good, come back in 2 days to the same place, said Jiraiya as he disappeared in a shunshin. Naruto had never felt so happy. A jutsu from the legendary Sannin. 2 days huh? I'll use that to train my body thought Naruto as he also disappeared in a shunshin. The 2 days were hell. The weights were heavier than Naruto could even imagine handling and he could feel his body ripping apart but he wouldn't give up. He forced his body to move and with the help of Kurama, his body would heal immediately. After 2 days Naruto had removed the weights and met with Jiraiya at the meeting place. He was excited to have the chance to learn a jutsu from a Sannin. 3rd Hokage's student and 4th Hokage's sensei. Are you ready, Naruto? Asked Jiraiya as he looked at Naruto all excited. He had seen the training Naruto had done in the 2 days and was amazed to see him abuse Kurama's powers. Hi, replied Naruto. Good. Now first I'll demonstrate the jutsu to you, said Jiraiya. He then opened his hand showing his palm and a spinning ball of chakra appeared on his. This is called the Rasengan. Interrupted Naruto. The jutsu that the 4th had created. The 4th was his hero and he read all about him. So you have heard of it, kid, said Jiraiya as the Rasengan dissolved on his hand. Of course I have. The Rasengan is a jutsu that the 4th created. It has high destructive power and requires no hand signs. An A-rank jutsu, replied Naruto in complete awe having seen the Rasengan. Correct. You need excellent chakra control to use this jutsu, but you don't have to worry about that since you have a way above average chakra control, explained Jiraiya. Naruto chuckled at this. He just got complimented by Jiraiya. Hatch, said Jiraiya as he threw a water balloon at Naruto. Naruto caught it and looked confused at Jiraiya. This is the first step to learning the jutsu. You need to spin your chakra in the balloon in multiple directions. Naruto looked at the balloon as he held it on his palm and focused. It took him several times, but he got in under 10 minutes. I did it. Thought Naruto. I shouldn't be surprised. That chakra control almost rivals Tsunade's thought Jiraiya. Impressive but the next step will take a little longer than that, said Jiraiya as he threw a rubber ball. There is no water inside and it's definitely thicker than the balloon thought Naruto. Now the second step. You must increase the volume and density of the chakra, explained Jiraiya as he saw try but fail. For the next 2.5 days, Naruto focused on bursting the rubber ball and it was at that point that he had realized why this jutsu was an A-rank jutsu. But in the end, he had finally done it. 3 days huh? This brat thought Jiraiya. He was amazed yet again at the speed Naruto was going at. It took the 4th 3 years and here was Naruto doing it several times faster. Again, you impress me, said Jiraiya. Now for the last step you will combine the first 2 steps into a contained sphere. Use this, continued Jiraiya as he gave Naruto a balloon. A balloon again? Yes. Should the balloon pop while you combine the first 2 steps, then mastery is not achieved, explained Jiraiya. So how long until you complete this? Thought Jiraiya. Jiraiya didn't expect the outcome thought. Naruto had done it on his 3rd try. You will be definitely surpassing the 4th thought Jiraiya as his eyes and mouth were wide open. Haha, Naruto chuckled as he rubbed his nose. He was happy with the improvement he has made and he still had more than 3 weeks of training until the Chunin exams. Really impressive. Well now we still have 3 weeks to train and during the 3 weeks you will improve your taijutsu style, chakra control, and train your body. It's going to be a hell of 3 weeks, said Jiraiya as he laughed. Bring it on. Thought Naruto. He was happy with the way things were going now. He was improving at higher rates than he had thought. It was the next morning and Naruto had a little more than 3 weeks to train with Jiraiya. Naruto went through a couple of hand signs and slowly a clone appeared beside him. Finally. This is something I'd call a perfect clone. It took too long to master and I can still only make one. The jutsu also requires excellent chakra control. Training in secret paid off thought Naruto as he smiled. With that, the clone left to train with Jiraiya while the original had something else in mind. Something he had planned in secret with someone. I'm sorry Jiji. Thanks to Tenzo-sensei I can easily sneak in without anyone noticing me thought Naruto with his plan already in motion. He knew he would be getting stronger with Jiraiya but that alone wasn't enough. He had other plans on how to get stronger faster. 3 weeks later, Jiraiya and Naruto had just finished their last spar. Brat. You have improved more than I thought you would, said Jiraiya. Thank you, Jiraiya-sensei, replied the clone. Naruto also realized that he was growing fast, but that still wasn't enough. He still had a few stuff to do to grow stronger. Alright, then use the rest of this day and tomorrow to rest. You have a big match coming up against the Hyuga prodigy, said Jiraiya, laughing a little. I can handle him, replied Naruto again as he saw Jiraiya laughing. I know you can, kid, thought Jiraiya. After Jiraiya went to do his work, the clone was alone. The clone went home where it had hoped the original was, but Naruto wasn't there. I hope he got it down. There are a few steps to this plan, and this is probably the second hardest, thought the clone. Suddenly the real Naruto appears beside the clone. Yo. So you done? Asked the clone. Nope. The jutsu has way too many flaws. The creator of the jutsu didn't focus on it as it seems. I can use the jutsu, but it's still not as effective as I would like it to be. But I definitely improved it and I just need a little more time to perfect it. I can't believe the creator actually had so much trouble with this jutsu, explained Naruto as he laughed a little. The clone smiled as it released itself. Naruto sat down as he waited for 3 weeks worth of training to be passed to him. Naruto lied down as he almost screamed. This clone jutsu was specifically made for training. Anything that had happened to the clone came back to the original. That included the pain that he felt due to the training, but also his body getting stronger. It all perfectly came back to the original as if Naruto was really there. After 10 minutes of pain all over his body, Naruto stood up. He felt that his body had definitely gotten stronger and his chakra reserves seemed to have increased. Works even better than I thought Naruto. This was indeed a perfect clone. I'll take it easy until the exams. The day of the Chunin exams. 1 month is finally over, thought Naruto, excited of the events that were going to take place. The streets of the Leaf were busier than ever. A lot of important customers were coming to spectate over the exams. In the arena, all 8 genin were standing before the spectators. All but Dosu. That guy Dosu isn't here, thought Shikamaru. Everyone had arrived and was now waiting for the beginning of the exams. After the Kazekage had also arrived, a third Hokage stood up ready to make an announcement. Thank you, everyone, for coming to the Chunin selection exam. We will now start the main tournament matches between the 8 participants. Please stay and watch until the end. Roars could be heard from the spectators. One could easily tell how excited everyone was. Before we begin, there is one slight change on the tournament. Check again to see who you are fighting, said Genma, who was the proctor of this tournament. Did that Dosu guy forfeit? Thought Shikamaru. Sasuke. I hope you have trained well for a month, said Naruto as he laughed a little. You too, idiot. We are fighting after all, so you better win, replied Sasuke. Naruto smiled and then turned his head to see his opponent, Neji. Naruto wasn't worried about Neji. Not with what he was capable of right now. Alright, you guys. The arena is different, but the rules are exactly the same as the preliminaries. The first match is between Naruto Uzumaki and Neji Hyuga. Those two stay here while the others go to the waiting room, explained Genma. Naruto could already hear people doubting that he could win, and he could only hold his laugh back. This match wasn't going to be a problem. I heard you had quite the match with Hinata, said Naruto. It doesn't matter. Fate wills that I win here, replied Neji with a smirk. Fate, huh? We'll see, thought Naruto. Both ready? Asked Genma, getting a nod from both of them. Begin. I could end it with one quick Rasengan, but that would be tasteless, thought Naruto as he used his own chakra to make himself heavier. He didn't understand it either. He had instinctively made himself heavier. Neji was rushing at Naruto, trying to use his gentle fist as he aimed for Naruto's chest, but Naruto could clearly see it coming. Naruto, even with his added weight, could move fast enough to duck down and hit Neji on the gut, which led to Neji flying away. I hit harder than I thought. Is it because of the weight? Thought Naruto. He hits hard. He is fast too, so. Is he like Lee? Thought Neji as he cleaned the little spit that came out of his mouth. It doesn't matter. I will win this. Fate wills that I win, declared Neji again as he started rushing at Naruto, now at a faster pace than before. Neji kept trying to hit him, but Naruto could dodge him with seemingly no difficulty. It doesn't seem like it's going anywhere and this is getting boring, so let me speed this up a little. I can even test this new ability, thought Naruto. As Neji rushed trying to hit Naruto at least once with his gentle fist, Naruto quickly used his own chakra to block any of Neji's chakra coming inside him and caught Neji's hands. Naruto then, with his speed, quickly pushed Neji's arms aside and focused the increased weight on his arm and punched Neji on the gut yet again, although now with much more force. The increase in power is insane. Now I'll show everyone this technique, thought Naruto as he quickly teleported to where Neji was flown and yelled Rasengan and hit Neji yet again, creating a crater below. Well, I held back quite a bit, thought Naruto as he smiled. What happened to Fate? Asked Naruto. Neji heard those final words as he fell unconscious. Now let's see what people think. I showed both techniques of the fourth, he smiled Naruto. The arena was first quiet, but then everyone at the same time started roaring. So much that the ground started shaking as well. This kid just defeated a Hyuga prodigy with seemingly no difficulty. Everyone had heard of the fourth, and everyone would recognize the fourth signature moves, and this kid used both of the fourth's jutsus with seemingly no problem at all. No way Neji lost to an amateur, thought Tenten. She was Neji's teammate. Naruto thought both Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura was impressed by Naruto, while Sasuke was both jealous and angry. The Rasengan, who would have thought he would learn it so soon, thought Kakashi. You have quite capable shinobi, said the Kazekage as he looked at Hiruzen. Hiruzen laughed a little as he nodded. He actually managed to master the Hiraishin and the Rasengan, huh? This is the perfect time to reveal this, thought the third Hokage as he stood up to announce the winner. The winner is Naruto Namikaze. Everyone looked up to where the third was. The Namikaze was the fourth's name, and they were even doubting themselves if they heard right, but they couldn't have. The third spoke loud and clear. If Naruto could use both of the fourth signature moves and have the fourth's name, then that means that he is his. Naruto was just as confused as everyone was. Even he didn't guess that he was the fourth son. If the third actually announced it, then that means that he thought that Naruto is ready for whatever is to come. Suddenly being announced as the fourth son surely brought not so good stuff with it. Dad's enemies, thought Naruto. Although strong, Naruto still wasn't as strong as he'd like to be. That's why he's already a few steps in his plan to become stronger. His classmates were the most surprised. They would have never had guessed that someone like Naruto would even have a drop of royal blood. Naruto heard cheers from the audience as he went to the participants area where he saw Shikamaru. Shikamaru was also shocked to have heard that. He was also worried about what Naruto was thinking right now. Naruto, how are you? I'm fine. Why wouldn't I be? Knowing my father doesn't change anything, interrupted Naruto. While feeling better that he knew about his father now, it still didn't change anything about him. His plan remained the same. He had one goal and one goal only. Shikamaru remained quiet as he looked at Naruto. He was looking for any sign of discomfort but realized that Naruto was just fine. Now the next fight, Sasuke, Uchiha and Gaara. Please come down, said the proctor as both of them appeared on a shunshin. The arena was still as loud as before. They were also waiting for the fight between an Uchiha and the Sand Genius. He had shown great fighting ability after all. Begin. Gaara's sand started coming out of his gourd. To Sasuke, it looked like Gaara was talking to himself. Come on, taunted Gaara. Sasuke threw 2 shuriken at Gaara, but Gaara had an automatic defense mechanism. It was also known as absolute defense. Even if Gaara wanted to stop it, he wouldn't be able to. The sand protected him, always. The sand formed a shield around Gaara and caught the shuriken. The shield then turned to a clone and threw the shuriken back, but Sasuke easily dodged them with superior speed than that of Gaara as he appeared before the clone, and with one kick the clone completely disappeared. Before Gaara could even react, Sasuke tried to punch Gaara, but the sand stopped him too. Sasuke chuckled. Suddenly Sasuke appeared behind Gaara, and before the sand could even react, Sasuke had managed to hit him on the face, sending him a couple of meters away, but before Gaara could hit the ground, the sand had protected him. Gaara stood up again with his face full of cracks. That speed is even superior to that of Lee's, commented Guy. Kakashi smiled proudly. A full month of training had done well. I'll tear off that armor, said Sasuke again as he started rushing at Gaara. Gaara tried to attack Sasuke, but you can't attack something you can't see. Gaara wasn't even able to follow Sasuke. Sasuke again appeared behind Gaara and kicked him on the back of his head. Gaara got flown again but managed to stop with the help of his sand. Sasuke now reappeared before Gaara, quickly punching him 2 times, but before Gaara could even move, Sasuke grabbed him by the white cloth and kicked him in the head, resulting in Gaara kissing the ground. Gaara was getting pissed now as Sasuke was the second opponent he couldn't see. Gaara then held his hand together forming a hand sign as sand was forming a shield slowly covering Gaara whole.